Yes, guys, welcome. This is another Liverpool show. Little bit something different today. Guys, welcome. We are going to be looking at the Premier League predictions again. So we did our Premier League predictions before the season started. We've played a few games now. We're going to look at the Premier League table. We're going to try and predict the rest of this Premier League season, guys. So it should be a good one. Should be a good little show. Make sure you guys in the chat get involved as well. And guys, we're about to get this underway. So don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons, guys. The join buttons there as well if anyone wants to join membership. And guys, we're about to get this underway. Let's hit the intro. Yes, guys, welcome to the show, guys. Hope everyone's doing well and having a good week so far. So, yeah, we got no games this week because of the international duty. Premier League for Liverpool don't come back till the 1st of October. So, we got a little bit of a wait, being it's only 21st September today. So, thought let's do something new. So, I thought, we've played a few Premier League games so far this season. Some of the teams are looking really good this season. You got a big up Arsenal at the moment, probably playing the best football in the league. Premier League's taking a different kind of shift as it usually does. So we're going to look at the Premier League table right now. We're going to try and predict final predictions on where everyone will finish this season. I thought just a little fun video, something we could do. And also we'll obviously touch on Liverpool, being a Liverpool channel. Look at the fixtures ahead for us. Look at the season so far for us, where we think we can finally achieve. So, yeah, it should be a good show, guys. Should be a good show. We've got teams like Leicester, who are rock bottom of the Premier League. Teams that we didn't probably predict where they would be. New managers have been sacked already. Bournemouth have got rid of their manager. Graham Potter's gone to Chelsea. How does that change Chelsea and their predictions? Liverpool not started too well this season. 9 points already behind the likes of Arsenal, Man United and Man City. Arsenal, Tottenham and Man City. But obviously with that game in hand, but you got to win games in hand. So, we're there and thereabouts, but who would have predicted that would be 9 points behind the likes of Arsenal at the beginning of the season? So let's have a little fun show here, guys. And don't forget, everyone in the chat, you can play along as well. And, let's have a good one. Hopefully some people will join us. I've sent some feelers out to people. So if people want to come and join, they're more than welcome. I think I've sent links in Savage's inbox, Cavs, and in our main Liverpool chat inbox, there's a link there now. If anyone wants to go and press on that and come in, you're more than welcome, guys. First off, before we get started, let's get to everyone in the chat. Big up John Conway, how you doing? 6 times, how you doing, my friend? Big up John Moore. John Moore, the link is in the chat if you want to come in as well. Psychedelic Scientist, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up Daz. Big up Daddy and the Dawn. Big up my old friend, how you doing? Big up Ravi. John Conway is all good. Everyone good. Any update on the merch, Jamie? So, yeah, the merch will be coming hopefully by the end of the year. Obviously hit a snag because of Penny in hospital and everything. It's taken our attention away because the wife is doing a lot of the merchandise. So, yeah, hopefully we'll have something up soon. Tinkering that intro more than around you. Chelsea team. You got to get it right, you know what I'm saying? You got to get it right, Phil, I believe we can climb back up the table. Yes, so do I. Big up Captain Sal. Don Van Dyke in the house. Big up Jay. Hope your family doing well. Big up to yourself, my friend. Some good games in international break, to be fair. I'm not gonna mind it. Yeah, there's not some bad games. Cop End in the house. Reliable source in Spain have been reporting We've been importing what, my friend? Unless we get a midfielder in January, I'm preparing for 6th. If we get a midfielder, then 2nd. Big up Sal. And big up Cedric. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. So, let's get the Premier League table up right now and share this with you guys. So we can have a kind of idea of where we stand in the Premier League tables, where everyone stands right now. So as you can see there, guys, Arsenal are top of the table at the moment. Played 7, won 6, lost 1 against Man United, scoring 17 goals, conceding 7. Goal difference of 10, 18 points. Their next game is a North London derby, so that is going to be interesting. Man City have played 7, won 5, drawn 2, not lost 1 yet. Scored 23 and conceded 6. Their next game is against Man United. Very interesting games coming up. Tottenham obviously 3rd, played 7, won 5, drawn 2, no losses either. Scored 18 goals, conceded 7. Obviously they got that North London derby. Brighton in the top 4, as they were last season for a little bit. Played 6, won 4, drawn 1, lost 1. Scored 11, conceded 5. Obviously they got us next. Look at Man United in 5th. They've won 4 on a bounce, ain't they? They lost their first 2 games of the season. Won 4 in a bounce, got a goal difference of 0. 8 scored, 8 conceded. Fulham is 6th, started really well as well. Then you got your Chelsea's in 7th, started badly. They've lost 2 games, drawn 1 and won 3. Scored 8. They've got a goal difference of -1. With all them brand new defenders that they've bought, all the money they've spent in their back 4 at the moment, they've got a -1 goal difference. Liverpool, there we sit. Obviously, only won 2 out of 6 games, drawn 3, lost 1. Scored 15 goals and conceded 6. Only conceded 6. So only Brighton have a better defence than us this season, which is mad. You considering how bad we have been at the back this season, only Brighton have conceded less than us. Man City the same, they got 6. So, you know, we start to pick wins up again. Got a goal difference +9, scored 15. So we got to get rolling on that. Big up to everyone in the chat. Everyone's doing well. Donny Van Dyke says, Jamie, Dortmund already asking 150 million euros. That can easily go to 150 million pounds if his World Cup goes good. Don't know if she spend that. We need a 3 midfielders. Yeah, they're saying that. Will it stay like that? I'm not sure. Savage is here. Let's bring Savage.
Yeah, they're saying that.
Oh, that's audio feedback there, Savage.
My bad. I had you on my phone. Nah. I had you on my phone at the same time. So.
All right. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right, brother. You good?
Yeah, good. I thought I'd just do something a little bit different. I thought we'd do another Premier League prediction as it's International Week.
Come on.
No games. Some content to come out. So, yeah, I thought we'd look at how the season's going so far and try and predict again where everyone's going to finish this season because, you know, some teams have started really well. Some teams have not started so well. So I thought it'd be an interesting video to do. How are you, Lo? You all right?
Yeah, busy, man. Busy.
Yeah, I saw your videos earlier. Your reaction videos. They were cool.
Yeah, I was doing that in between I was trying to edit it in between having like flipping meetings online. Mad, but it is what it is, man.
No, I liked it. I like the Hellraiser one. Your reaction to the Hellraiser one was hilarious. You just look confused. You're like, yeah, I don't know what this is.
You know what it is, bro? Because Hellraiser, when I was a kid, it messed me up a little bit, man.
Yeah, it's a messy film, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're a kid watching that in the early 90s, it's a messed up film. But Pinhead's now a woman, so I don't know how I feel about that. So
that's what I thought in the trailer, and I couldn't tell properly. I was like, it looks feminine, but the voice sounds like a man.
Yeah, I think I saw a close up of a still, and it looks like it is a woman, which is yeah.
That's mad, yeah. Because if you watch the beginning of that video, I literally said they'll probably make him a woman now.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Safe, man.
So, what's your opinion on this? Before we get going on the predictions, let's just get through some chats. Don Van Dyke, apparently, this came out today. I saw it in the papers and online. So, Dortmund are apparently asking for 150 million. James Pearce was tweeting about that today. That's what they're asking right now. I don't know. I don't know if any midfielder is worth 150 million.
I don't think anybody would buy Jude for that much money, to be honest.
Nah, I think they're trying to get him to sign a new contract and keep him at the club.
Yeah.
But the problem is they could be overpricing in him. A bit like Declan Rice. West Ham overpriced Declan Rice massively. That's why he's not gone anywhere.
Yeah.
And he got a bit upset about it. He even did interviews about it. Problem is he's their star boy. So they want the right money for him. And I don't blame Borussia Dortmund. They want what they think he's worth. Borussia Dortmund, he's worth that.
Yeah, I don't think that Dortmund think he's worth that much money. Although money's kind of irrelevant now in football of what someone's worth. He's definitely worth. Like that, he's worth the higher end money, but I don't see it being that much. But I think what they're trying to do is scare teams away from buying him in January more than anything, because they want him for the whole season, innit? Because they know that if their group's not the easiest group, so if they get knocked out of the Champions League and go into the Europa, they're going to need him. I think they want him for that reason. So scare everyone off now. Hopefully, they're going to hope that he does well in the World Cup, so they can keep that price tag. Because if he does well in the World Cup and England do well, then 150, it'll probably be about 120. He'll probably go for.
It's mad to say it though, because how good he is, but it's if he plays. You just don't know with Southgate.
Well, the last tournament we had, they played Calvin Phillips and Rice more than anyone, and Calvin Phillips ain't going to the World Cup. And Hendo's there, but he was second choice, so I wouldn't be surprised if they play him and Declan Rice in some way. Who knows, man? Who knows? But you are right. Gareth Southgate's a weirdo, innit? Like, so you never know.
Big up Ravi, big up Cav as well. Reliable sources in Spain are reporting that Bellingham is open to a summer move to Real Madrid with Man City and Real's main rivals in the pursuit of the midfielder. Chelsea were also mentioned, but no LFC.
That ain't a reliable source, bro. If Liverpool's not in the name, it's not a reliable source, bro. Promise.
No.
I know 100% that he's interested in Liverpool. Whether he comes or not, it's different. But I don't think Man City would buy him, to be honest. Don't need him. No,
not at this moment in time. They don't, do they? If we win our game in hand and beat Arsenal, we're only 3 points behind them. That is very true.
How many games have done so far, Jay? 7?
Oh, yeah. So it's up there on the screen. Yeah, 7. 6 for some, 7 for others. Cool. We've only played 6. Who else in the chat here? Hassan's in the chat. Big up to you. We're doing good. Yeah, of course. He's in the chat. Lockman, how you doing, man? I love you still got hashtag Levy out. All over doing well. Big up Captain Sal. Yeah, 150 million is yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see a midfielder game. I really like Norman. I mean, Coutinho's more of a forward winger. I mean, I just think that's a lot of money, isn't it? It's a lot of money.
A lot.
But what we're going to do, we're going to start at the bottom of the Premier League and predict where each team will finish towards the end of the season. So we're going to start with Leicester, who are rock bottom, and look at their form. Jesus Christ.
No, they're a broken team, man. They're broken.
Awful. Obviously, they've lost their last 5 games. They've not won yet this season. They've lost 6 of their opening 7 games and drawn the other one. Already conceding 22 goals. 10 goals scored. They've got a -12 goal difference so far. Now, I know people will say Leicester are probably a bit too good, go down with the players they got, get rid of Brendan, former pick up and stuff like that. But the problem is, when you have a terrible start like this, and I mean a terrible start, that goal difference is terrible already. We've already conceded 22 goals. I know it's only 7 games on, but that's very hard to get rid of. That is extremely difficult. They got Nottingham Forest next, I believe. They got Forest at home, which, home or away don't really matter at the moment. I think Forest to give them a good game. So Derby, they hate each other. It's going to be a good game. Leicester, as we saw against Tottenham, are terrible at set pieces. They don't. Did everyone see when Tottenham scored their second goal from a corner and the camera went to the set piece taker on the bench?
Cameraman scumbag.
The set piece specialist on the bench. Has he still got a job? I don't know. This is a tough one to predict because there's a lot of bad teams in this league. But I think Brendan Rodgers, the rumour is, and who we've had on the channel before, big Leicester fan. I think the last time he was on the channel, he was saying he wanted Brendan gone before the season started, but he said they can't afford to sack him.
No, it's too much money. The payout's massive.
And that's the problem. So they're going to have to take they're going to have to do something because they apparently can't afford to sack him. So
the weird one with Leicester is like, as much as everyone tries to troll Brendan and that, the players need to take accountability for this one, because I've seen many occasions so far when he set them up perfect and then they've been playing well in the game or been leading, they just throw it away. They've got no character anymore. Like Maddison sounded broken after the game against Tottenham in his interview, which is fine because he can come Liverpool in January if he wants. But the more broken Maddison is, the better, bro. Honestly. Put it this way, I've got on the screen, Jay, because you're already on this year as well. Yeah. I'll tell you, from last season, after the 7th game, the bottom 3 was Norwich, Newcastle, and Burnley, and 2 of them teams went down. Yeah, Burnley had 3 points at this stage, and Norwich had 1 point, and Norwich stayed at the bottom. So, and Watford went down as well, and Watford at this point last season were on 7 points. So, it ain't looking good, and I think you're right. No, in that position, no team's too good to go down. Not after like so many points dropped.
Yeah. I agree. I mean,
with
I don't look at Leicester thinking they can do a Newcastle either, because Newcastle had money to go in the January transfer market and just freshen. They didn't buy superstars, like let's say, but they bought players that are Premier League proven. I know they got Bruno Guimaraes in, who is a superstar, but he hit the ground running. And they got Premier League proven players, experienced enough to, and Eddie Howe got them on a run.
Yeah, he's a smart guy, man.
The thing with Leicester, they can't afford to do what Newcastle did. And if they keep hold of Brendan for any much longer, I think it's only going to get worse. This is tough. It's a tough call because I think Wolves are in trouble this season. I think we predicted Forest, Bournemouth, and Southampton to go down, didn't we, at the end of the season? Nottingham Forest are there. I mean, if Forest beat Leicester in their next game, wow.
Facts, man. Because Southampton's already doing better than I thought they would.
Yeah.
Even just based on performances they're doing. Because our problem was we all said that we like Hasenhüttl. We said that they can play good football, but they don't have any strikers. But they're getting goals somehow. So, I don't know, man. I think the issue what Leicester might have is they might turn a page, but I think it could be too late very soon, because I don't think everyone in the Prem's awful. Like, it feels like apart from Bournemouth and maybe Nottingham Forest, it feels like everyone can beat everyone. Like,
There's
everyone.
There is a lot of good teams.
Yeah. Like, I can imagine, for Liverpool and maybe Man City and Tottenham. No, just maybe Liverpool and Man City, to be honest, just based off history. I can imagine smaller teams taking points off us, which they have already, especially Liverpool. That's the closest I think it can happen with Liverpool. I don't think one of them teams will beat us, but they can take points like Fulham have already. But I think anybody can lose to these teams. Like, I think Nottingham on their day might be able to beat someone. Fulham, clearly, they can beat someone on their day. And then you got the other teams that are proven already, like Palace and that, and Southampton, who can beat you. So, for Leicester, they might turn the table, but it might be too many points for, I don't know. They're doing, at the moment, they're quite lucky that the point gap ain't that big, because it's only 5 points, which is weird. 5 points in the safe, which is 2 wins, and you can see Wolves or Crystal Palace losing 2 games in a row. So I don't know, but they're gonna have to start working for their manager, and he don't seem to start Vardy anymore, which is weird. I know that everybody wants to evolve their team and evolve the way they play and stuff like that, but sometimes for your own safety and the team, you might have to just revert back to how you've been playing. Liverpool's kind of the same in a different position, where we're trying something new. Everyone thinks our system's the same. It's not. And Klopp might have to revert back to type and then just change a few little other things because you don't really have the time to change in the season. If it doesn't work straight away, like us where the points run now, if it doesn't change straight away, you need to change back quickly because you can end up too far behind the pack. Obviously, it's easier for us because we're not going to get relegated. But for Leicester, anyone who's saying they're too good, just remember, man, about not so long ago, they wasn't even in the Prem. And then the season before they won the league, they finished 17th. So things can change very fast, man. You know what I mean? And then Leicester, who's won the FA Cup and the Prem, just disappear. And they won't come back up either. So
Brendan's got a thing of this. I remember when he was at Liverpool, he decided not to play Stevie anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, all right, we just won't play our club legend and club captain. I remember when we went to Bernabeu and he had Stevie on the bench.
Pissed me off, that did.
What are you doing? I think Brendan Rodgers has got a problem with players that might be a bit bigger than him. Like in his aura. I think Vardy's aura and all that might feel like he's bigger than Brendan. I think Stevie's aura was bigger than Brendan's. I think Brendan's got an issue with players that he feels are his level or better, and he can't manage that kind of player. He finds it difficult, and he tries to get rid of them, or tries.
It's a respect thing with Brendan. It's a respect for him, Brendan, because I still rate him as a good manager. I think he's a really good manager, and his tactics and stuff is really good at getting people to play football. Did it with Swansea, with Liverpool. The problem he has, you're right, is he likes to impose his way on every team, which managers should do.
Yep.
But that doesn't come overnight, innit? And like for somebody like Vardy, he's been playing one way his whole career, and it works. And he's in the latter stages of his career. He's older now. He's still faster than everyone, but he's older now. So trying to get him to change that, he's like, okay, I want to evolve the team and stuff like that. But some teams just don't. Sometimes being idealistic, it's not a bad thing, but it just doesn't work out all the time, innit? It just doesn't work out. Like Klopp's idealistic about players coming through and young players and stuff like that, and I like him for it, innit? But sometimes it just won't work, and you have to go, all right, we need to knuckle down and just get the points on the board. Forget how we're trying to play and stuff. Because if you watch parts in Leicester's play, defending they're terrible. Going forward, they'll pull out some passing move and bang a goal. And it's very similar to Liverpool when we didn't win the league, when we lost by 1 point. I know everyone likes to point at certain games. I know it's a narrative to go, Gerrard slip against. That's not what lost us the title, bro. Everyone forgetting the Crystal Palace game. Yeah. That's because we couldn't defend. All season, that season, there were games where we were winning like 3-2 and 4-3s and stuff like that because we couldn't defend. So it seemed like a Swansea as well, always towards the bottom of the table. Great football. Montero and all these players tearing it up. You know what I mean? Bapatimi, Gomez couldn't defend. So I think you can see his deficiency as a manager is he can't defend. He can't get a team to defend properly. And especially when your defenders ain't that great anyway, or they're getting older. Johnny Evans is their best defender. He shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Everyone would think he's past it by now. Soyuncu's trash. They got the other dude in the David Luiz geezer. Give him a chance in it. But, you know, Vestergaard they brought for no reason because they don't play him. They played when we played them last season. They had flipping Amate and Ndidi at centre back. They're not centre backs. So, you know what I mean? It's mad. It's mad. They're screwed.
No, I agree. So everyone in the chat, let me know what position you think Leicester are going to finish. So let me know in the chat. It's difficult. They got to get rid of Brendan and just bite the bullet on what it costs, because the longer they keep him, the longer this is going to get worse, because I think he's just lost the dressing room. The players ain't listening to him. They don't care. They can't defend their pieces.
We all know what they need. We know there's only one man who can save them, bro. It's Big Sam.
Oh, Big Sam,
Sam. Big Sam Allardyce, bro. Just get him in, man. He won't do anything pretty, but he'll get you to 17th. And he'll keep you in the Prem. And then you can just sack him after, bro. Because these lot are screwed, man.
They are in big trouble. Sorry, the 14th. Cam's going 10th. Wow. Race Players 14th.
Yeah. There's a point to why Cam's gone 10th, though. And Psychedelic's gone 14th.
10th as well, yeah.
Like we all said, just think of them. To me, they are like, without any disrespect to our own team, it's like Liverpool, but on opposite ends of the table, where we're not that far behind top of the table on points. Performances we are, but on points we win our 2 games in hand, and then we're like 3 points behind or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same with Leicester. The 5 points off being safe already. Win 2 games, someone loses up there. All of a sudden, they're back in it.
Yeah,
so I do get what you're talking about.
I get what you're saying. I mean, I don't think they get relegated. I think they just survive. This is difficult because they have got quality players, but the problem is there's a lot of good teams in this league now, and it's not very easy.
To got Leicester the January transfer window as well.
Yeah, and
Tielemans not staying in that window.
No, and it's very hard to go on 4 to 5 game runs now, unless you're a top side, like basically one of the top 6 sides. It's very difficult going 4 and 5 game winning runs, and that's what Leicester's going to need to get really up in the league. They sack Brendan, they could have a boost, but I'm going to go.
You've got the players to have a boost.
I'm going to go 14th.
Yeah, I was literally going to say the same thing. 14th.
Yeah, I think they can just stay up, but Leicester's owners are planning to collect the parachute payments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because even though if you look at Leicester's team, like without injuries and stuff like that, against some of the other teams, then their team's not worse than all the other teams. They're just not. Quality and that. They've still got quality there. I would say that Ricardo Pereira is one of the best right backs in the league. Vardy's one of the best strikers in the league. Maddison's one of the best midfielders in the league. Dewsbury Hall's dope. Harvey Barnes is dope. It's just that their bigger players starting to make mistakes. Like Ndidi's starting to make mistakes and that, which is not normal. So I think someone said something's going on behind the scenes. Yeah, I think there is, man. I think there is.
Yeah, there must be. There must be.
Yeah, that's why Michael's not there. He wouldn't have just left.
No, I mean, that's a massive miss because Danny Ward is terrible.
Yeah, he wasn't as bad at Liverpool, but flipping hell.
He's arguably the worst keeper in the Premier League. And he's bad.
Before he left Liverpool, and he was in the League Cup and stuff, and that he was playing pretty good, yeah. And I remember being like, "Nah, why we let him go to Leicester? Just keep him as a number 2." I'm glad we never kept him, bro.
Oh, he's terrible. Kelleher pisses all over him, don't he?
Yeah, man.
Noah says, Jamie, thoughts on Harry's treating Soyuncu?
He's shit. Treat him like that.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm only joking.
I've never highly rated Soyuncu. I think he had one great season.
Yeah, one season.
People got a bit gassed.
It was his first season.
Yeah, I don't think he's tremendous, but the problem is when you're in this rut, you need everyone on side, no matter how average the player is and you don't think it's good enough. You just need every single player on side. You know, you need them, you need to make them feel loved and feel good. So if you've got decent players, and I'm not saying Soyuncu's a terrible player, he's a Premier League centre-back. Yeah. He's just not, you know, I think everyone was overgassing him saying he was like top 5 in the Premier League and stuff like that. It was just ridiculous. No, I think they just need, he needs to get everyone on side, but I think he's lost the dressing room. But 14th we're going with, and
yeah, I think it's what you said. To be honest, I just think that when you're struggling, you need to put all of your grievances aside on it for the team. And bite the bullet. Kind of like if you know, at one point, I mean, it was different, but you know how Arteta in that season he left Aubameyang out. And if he was on the opposite side of the table, you'd be like, no, we just need him, and fuck if he's an idiot or whatever. Use him for the season, keep safe, and then just fuck him off. Because you just kind of have to do that sometimes.
Totally. I agree. Captain Soyuncu is slightly better than average. Yeah, I mean...
It's funny.
Poor Soyuncu. Nottingham Forest, 19th. I'm going to make this quick. I think that's where they finish.
Yeah.
They bought 2007 players. I mean, it's just... They got... Their team bus is the biggest in Europe. It's ridiculous. It's just...
I think they ended up on 23 players in the transfer window.
It's mad, ain't it? It's mad. It's just too many. I don't know what's going on there.
I agree with you. I think Bournemouth will finish last, so I think they'll finish there.
Yeah, 19th. We're quick on Forest because it's quite an... We're going detail on some of the clubs because some of these clubs need that, but like Leicester, but Forest, I mean, too many players. And the fact is, though, they bought so many players, but they haven't got anyone who can put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, crazy.
All the players they've bought, they have not bought a person who can put the ball in the back.
They're hoping for Gibbs White to put the ball in the back of the net, and it all season.
5 goals, 6 assisted. It's just not good enough. And I mean, what is it they've scored there? Is that? Hang on. Yeah, goals for and goals against. Jesus Christ! They conceded 17 goals and scored 6.
Peppered, bro. They've been
Wow. Yeah, Forest are gone. And their next game is obviously Leicester. That game is massive. That game is huge because Forest are quite a big team. You gotta feel Forest gotta be dead dangerous at set pieces, corners, free kicks.
Yeah.
It's a Leicester team that can't defend it. That's an interesting game, massive game. West Ham United. West Ham have not had the best of starts. Played 7, only won 1, drawn 1, lost 5. Scored only 3 goals and conceded 9. And their next game is against Wolves, who's 1 place above them.
West Ham. I think West Ham finished 13th, bro.
Going 13th for West Ham. Just a point.
I think they'll climb back up because they'll go on. A West Ham run is 2 wins and a draw. That's a run for a team like that, and it will take you up the table. But I don't know. Could be wrong, to be fair. They could stay lower, because I'm thinking the way I'm watching them play now, I'm looking at teams like Villa and that. I feel like Villa and that will finish higher than them, so maybe 13th is too high. But because we'll get onto them eventually, but I actually don't think Villa's going to do as bad as everyone thinks. But West Ham, if they get, it's just they're in the Conference League, isn't it? They've been winning in the Conference League and they're losing in the league. So
yeah, I brought some players in.
Got Skamaka, but he ain't played much.
Skamaka, he ain't really putting up any trees, but he ain't playing much, as you say. Who's the Brazilian fellow they brought in? Everyone wanted. Paqueta, decent player. I just don't know if he's going. He's gone to West Ham because
I know what you're going to say. Man.
It's his foot of getting into the Premier League, ain't it? And it's London. And as soon as he's shown what he's got, he'd be gone the following season. I just can't see West Ham keeping Paqueta.
Yeah. Or he doesn't have much anyway.
Or or he's
which is why I keep telling everyone stop being hype about these players. Oh, Liverpool, you need to get Paqueta. Blah. Listen, trust me, bro. We're not that stupid, bro. If he was that dope, we'd just buy him. It's like,
I mean, you have got to say, if he was as good as everyone says he is, why is he at West Ham? I mean, why is no one else taking? Because he wasn't exactly a fortune, was he? So,
yep. Arsenal could have got him instead of Vieira. Man U could have got him instead of Ericsson. Man City could have got him. Liverpool could have got him. So, because he definitely would have went to all of them teams. Yeah, see.
Maybe there is something there. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's just, it's who says it? Yeah, Tariq says it. What's happened to Bowen?
I've been watching him play, man. The work ethic's not gone. He's still grafting, but
yeah. What's happened to our West Ham team, though? I mean, it's not.
I think you all know this, Jay. There's always a part in a player's career where it seems to be happening to like Maddison, these kind of players, and that where they're still trying. They're not down tools or anything like that. But it seems like mentally they're like tapped out of the team because when you're ready to go to the next level. Sometimes you can see in a player like this season was the level to move up. And I'm not saying he has to move up to Liverpool. I'm saying that like even if he moved up to somebody else higher than West Ham, you know what I'm saying? But then I don't know. You are right though. If they haven't been good altogether, then that kind of happens, and it like Liverpool when we ain't been good, none of our players look good. So it's apart from Thiago, obviously he looks good all the time. But yeah, it happens. So
yeah, I agree. West Ham. I think West Ham will finish above Leicester. We had Leicester
15th.
Where did we have Leicester? 14th.
Oh yeah, so we'll go 13th West Ham.
Yeah, I'm going 13th West Ham. It all depends how long they're in Europe for.
They'll probably stay in there the whole time. To be
honest,
but
the thing is, Europa Conference League, it's West Ham's level for Europe, so they could actually do quite well in it. So that could affect their performances.
But doesn't the same
in
thing
Premier League.
happen? That happened. I don't know for a fact, and I don't really look into it. But if you don't make out the group stage in Europa League, then you drop down if you're third into the conference, or do you just get knocked out?
Yeah, I think Europa League. I think third place Europa
place,
League is going to the Conference League. Yeah,
you are right though. West Ham's level is conference. Like if they won this, you know what I mean, it'd be good for them. Although I think the tournament's stupid, but it'd be good for them, isn't it?
Yeah, so we'll go West Ham. I'm going 13th. Yeah, 13th.
I think it's annoying that like if somebody wins that Conference League from England, they're going to be able to run around saying they won a European Cup. Fucking tragic, man.
Yeah. It's like the McDonald's Cup of Europe, ain't it?
I hope when somebody does win it from England, I hope it's Spurs or Arsenal. That'll be funny.
Yeah, it would be funny if it's Arsenal because that means they've
Arsenal will treat it like it's a Champions League, though.
You know it.
You know the will.
First ever English team to win it. There'll be a blue rays.
Yeah, that's what it will be, man. Yeah, man, it's funny.
Oh, I love it. Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, a lot of people might be a bit like, were praising Wolves last season, how well they did. I always said I thought Wolves are in a false position because their points tally at the end of the season have finished 8th, I think they were, or 9th. They should nowhere have been in that top 10. It was almost a false position. Their points tally, the amount of goals they scored, they really should have been fighting relegation on any other season. It weren't great. And I think people got a bit carried away and think that, you know, they're going to get improved now. They're going to get a bit better. They brought they brought Costa back into the Premier League, who's probably 55 years old now. Who knows? Yes, it was a brilliant video they introduced him with.
Yeah, it
was fantastic. But the man's 55. That's not a lie. I think Wolves are in trouble. I think they're in trouble. They don't score goals. They just don't score goals.
Same problem we had last season.
They got a forward, obviously, but since his head trauma, he's never been the same player, which you'd expect, you know. That's why they've gone and got Costa, but I just don't think Costa's going to get the goals in this Wolves team. They're too defensively minded. And he got Neto and Podence and all that. Very good footballers, very flary footballers. Can get you the odd special goal to win the odd match here and there. But they're just not going to do enough for a whole season, in my opinion, to keep you up goal-wise.
It's a weird one with Wolves. Weird. They last season they won 15, lost 17, and drew 6. 17 games is a lot of losses, man. But because even some of the teams below them didn't lose as many, but they managed to. I can't see them winning 15 games this season. I just can't. Maybe 11 or something like that. So I don't think they'll finish as high at all. But I still think the other two teams that we just spoke about.
I mean, look, they've only scored 3 goals. And Palace
last season they scored 38 goals all season.
That's what I'm saying. It's not. They shouldn't have been in the top 10. I think they finished in the top 10. I can't quite remember. Actually.
Yeah, they did. They finished 8th, I think. Not 8th. Yeah, someone lower than that. Yeah, they finished 10th. They finished 10th last season.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Below Brighton.
Shouldn't. Yeah, that's right. They shouldn't have finished in the top 10 with the amount of wins they had and the goals they scored. And they've not improved on that, in my opinion. I don't think they've improved on that.
I think it'll be some of the same, to be honest. I think it's kind of weird because all the teams that we just spoke about, I think they're going to finish all right next to each other. So
it's got to be that little bundle, won't it? It's got to be
if I'm 100% honest,
of Midland clubs.
Although we've already put the place down for them, I think although we've already put the place down to them, I could probably see them finishing in between Leicester and West Ham. I don't think they're going to finish lower than them, but then again, I don't know. So I'll put them either side of that. I don't think they're going to finish higher. Where do we have
15th?
Yeah, 15th.
We had 13th. We had 13th.
15th.
Yeah, we had Leicester 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then West. Yeah.
I'll write it down as we go along, actually, just so I keep.
Yeah, Wolves 15th. I mean, yeah, it's gotta be. They just don't score goals.
They're a lot like Southampton, isn't it?
Yeah,
totally.
Crap most game. Stank. We all know Man City's going to be number one because they have so much money. Yeah, I mean, you're probably true. Did you see, while you're writing that down, did you see this on Donny Van Dijk? Have you watched that FIFA ranking video? For F's sake,
Yep.
Jota has better defending than Elliot, and Elliot and Trent can't play together. Trent can't bench and push it out for defending. He's wasting his talent. I agree. When we get Liverpool, we'll talk about that because we've got probably a bit to say on the Liverpool side of things. But
cool.
Yeah, I saw that. Them FIFA cards are a joke. Did you see that McIntyre? What's the name? The Man United terrible footballer, midfielder.
Oh, McTominay.
He had an 80 rating, and was it Bruno Gomares had 79?
Nah, McTominay should be a 77, bro. That's what it should be, man.
It's just like, what the hell's going on? So, yeah, Wolves 15th. Crystal Palace, this is a weird one. Crystal Palace is a weird one. They played decent football, but again, they struggle to make and score goals, and it's already happening this season. Now, only scoring, I think they've scored, 7 goals, conceded 9, lost 2.
Bro, they are the most unfortunate team, man. I swear. If you don't watch a Crystal Palace game, you'd think that they play terrible. They play so good, man, and they can never go over the line. It's weird, man.
What are we saying with Palace? They're just mid-table, aren't they?
12th.
I was just about to say that. 12. Yeah. Write that down in.
To be fair, Jay, that's what we done. When we done the thingy before,
I think we had
them and Villa next to each other, so it's like 12th and 11th. And I think Villa will finish higher than them, to be honest. So
got some 11th. Yeah, get them in the chat, guys. Where you think everyone's going to finish? Who we're talking about? So Crystal Palace right now. Where do you think they're going to finish, guys?
12's a good number.
Yeah, they do. They have a great.
I think with them kind of teams as well. I think they do have the best atmosphere. Awesome. I think them kind of positions for Palace between like 12th and 9th with a good run in the FA Cup or something or a League Cup. That's what these teams should be thriving for. I don't really like. I know I sound like some football purist and that, but I don't really like the fact that like grown men who can all play professional football just turn up to a season and just want to stay in the league. I'm like, bro, you got fans like cheering for you week in, week out. Can you give them something to cheer about? Because if you're a team that's always going to be in the league anyway, can you put some effort in? I mean, to be fair to Crystal Palace, last season they did well in the FA Cup. Chelsea knocked them out and in the semis. Yeah, and then they went on to play us, and they were good. And it's only because Finger didn't get to play Gallagher because he was on loan.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. And Lukaku decided to play good in one game, which was that one.
It's just, I mean, 12th. We'll go Palace 12th because they just look like a team that's 12th. You just think of Palace and you think 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they can get a good cup run, something like you say. Scott McTominay and 80. Even Carver would dread that guy. How is he an 80? Well, it's because he's a Man United player. I can guarantee you right now. I've always said that about FIFA. Who do you think the FIFA character was built on? You know, the bloke you could play in a single player.
Rashford, clearly.
It was Marcus Rashford. The whole thing was built on Marcus Rashford, that storyline. FIFA's always been thing with Man United.
Tell you what's weird, though. Even though it was built on Rashford, the guy was real, wasn't he? I did not know that.
Yeah, apparently he was. Yeah, apparently
I watched it. They unveiled the journey, they brought him out on stage, and I was like, what the? I thought he was a... I thought it was a computer game the whole time, bro.
Did anyone play the journey?
I played it for, honestly, about 7 matches, and then I was like, this is shit, man.
It's just terrible.
The beginning's funny, though, because his granddad starts having conversations with him at the kitchen table and that. And then he's like, then he's like, the mom's like, oh, she's all worried about his contract. There's like, his dad used to be a footballer, and he chose football over his family. I'm like, oh my God, bro. Did you get this storyline from Jimmy Grimble, bro?
It was Jimmy Grimble. I made him an arsehole. You know where you can be nice or things like that.
That's what I did.
I made him an arsehole.
Press conferences and that.
Yeah, I just made him a total arsehole. I made him.
After the match, when it's like he has his first match, I think the first thing they tell you to do is they tell you to come on the pitch with like 10 minutes left and score 2 goals against Chelsea.
Yeah.
And then after it's like, I think it says at the bottom, oh yeah, it was all about the team. It was the team effort. And then the other one where it says ice cold is like,
yourself,
of course I was going to score.
Yeah.
Of course I was going to score. The manager shouldn't have me on the bench.
That's what I did. That's what I did. No one liked me. No one liked me. I was so arrogant. It was brilliant. Talking about Aston Villa being next to Palace, they're right above them next. So Aston Villa have not had the best of starts, as we know. They have played 7, won 2, drawn 1, lost 4, scored 6, conceded 10. Their next game's against Leeds on Sunday, October the 2nd. It's the Super Sunday game. So no one will be watching that.
It's a hard one, you know.
What is Villa?
I don't
even know what Villa is right now.
When I watch them play, like, there's been results this season where they've lost a game where they haven't been terrible. And then there's been games where it's like you don't offer anything in this game at all. But it feels like, and I know it's too soon, but even if you see Gerrard's interview after the last game they won against Southampton, and then obviously before that they drew with Man City, and he kind of was honest about everything. And he even spoke about the whole thing with Tyrone Mings, and I liked what he said, to be honest. Obviously, you know I don't like Mings, but he pretty much said, no, I didn't have a problem with him as captain, but he said the problem I have with him is it feels like he never focuses on himself. He's always trying to do this captain thing, what he thinks he's supposed to do. And he's lost sight of what he's been doing on the pitch. So he said, I took pressure off him by taking the captain off him. I was like, well, that's kind of dope, actually, as a manager. Everyone else can speculate on the outside, but you're basically saying that being a captain ain't for you, bro, because you have to deal with so much.
But in Stevie's head, you know, he's like, it's because he's shit.
Yeah, because don't get me wrong, man. We know with Gerrard and Lampard and these players and that, man. Like Vieira and that, they're on the training pitch and they're just looking like, how are you so shit, man? Like, no, because they're not used to it, and it's so young still that they're like, that was easy. I can still do that. I mean, remember everyone's seen Gerrard on the F2 like 2 years ago, killing it still.
Yeah.
So he's just like, I can do this in my sleep, bro. But I actually think that Gerrard's not going to do as bad as everyone thinks, and I don't think he'll get sacked either. So. Yeah,
I mean, he can. It all depends where Villa's owners feel like the club should be. That's the thing. If Villa's owners think we got to make sure we're a top 10 Premier League side and go from there, then if they finish in that top 10, then he's done his job. It all depends what the remit is. I mean, if the remit is we've spent this much money now, we want European football, that's just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
But if the remit is like we just want to be a top 10 club at this moment in time and slowly build and trust in what you're doing, then you got to let him be, ain't you? And just let him get on with it. I mean, they're 15th right now, played 7 games. They've been poor. I think sometimes Stevie might be too honest in his interviews.
Yeah.
I think he might be just a bit too honest sometimes, and just like Stevie ain't got a poker face, has he? He just tells
he will never cut. He didn't even do it as a player either.
He just tells you what you're feeling, don't you? He just goes, right, it was that and that, and as simple as that. He's very old school. He's got ways that he wants the game played, but the problem is with world-class players, when they become managers and you're managing players that are far beneath you or far beneath what you played with. It's very hard to coach them into something they probably can't be.
Even when he spoke about Coutinho, and he said I brought him in because obviously he's world class, but he can teach Ramsey some stuff. And he's like, I want Ramsey to see what it's like to play with. And I'm like, that's so smart, bro. Like, I think with someone like Stevie, if you give him the right amount of time, he will do the job, innit? And he's quite honest with how he is and everything like that. I think they finished 14th last season, but I think they'll finish 10th. I don't think it'll be amazing though. I just think they'll finish 10th, bro.
You're going 10th.
Yeah, but 11th ain't bad. Like 10th or 11th is probably.
Yeah, I had 11th in my mind.
Let's go 11th. Let's go 11th then.
11th. I think the top 6 are the top 6 in whatever order they're going to be in, and then underneath that, I think you got 2 leagues. You got a top 6 league, and then you got the rest of the Premier League, and that's the league on their own. Yeah. And in that league, everyone can beat everybody. And then if they can go on like a few games runs, just playing, like if Villas are playing your Southamptons, your Evertons, your Bournemouths, your Wolves, you know, could easily go on a 4-game run there and then finish in that 11th position.
Because all you want to do really is the perfect thing to have is to start how Brighton did. If you can start big early, then when you
Start
have that
really
down
well,
part in the
and
season,
when they drop
that's what
off,
Brighton did last season as well. There was a stage in the season where they were like they hadn't won in like 10 games or something, but you wouldn't notice by the table because they got all their points early. So,
yeah, they went to Christmas, didn't they? They went to Christmas around that top four, and then they just dropped like a stone because. But they finished then 11th in the Premier League for Brighton. It's out of this world. That's a tremendous finish in the Premier League. So, yeah,
they
Villa
got big wins and draws last season as well. Like they beat Chelsea, they drew with Liverpool, they beat Man U and all that. They were doing pretty good. So
yeah, we'll go Villa 11. So note that down.
Yeah, I've done it. It's going to be interesting because once the squad, the reason why like it's hard when we're doing it bit by bit, obviously, because I start thinking of who else in the league, like Leeds and all that.
Yeah,
I'm like, these teams and Everton and that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see. I think we're doing good at the moment.
We can come back to some if they need to be changed. It's not a problem. Southampton. So Southampton was a team we all on the panel when we did our predictions at the beginning of the season thought they're the team that's going to struggle this year.
Yep,
they're going to find it very difficult. They weren't great towards the end of the season. At the moment, they're 14th. They played 7, won 2, drawn 1, lost 4, scored 7, conceded 11. They got Everton up next, which is a huge game. How do we feel about Southampton? They've done a bit of business this summer. They've brought some players in, spent a bit of cash.
They've got good players, man. There's some good gems in there, man.
They got an 11, ain't they? It's just have they got a squad?
Yeah, and I know that they're in this position now, but they're still going to struggle to score goals throughout the season. Of all the teams that we spoke about so far, I can still see them finishing underneath them.
Yeah,
but I just don't know how far underneath. And obviously, we've done up to 15th at the moment. We're in between 11th and 15th. I think Southampton.
They're 14th right now. I don't see them being that high in the Premier League.
Nah, I think if they stay in the Prem, they're going to be 17th. But I think if they get relegated, they could get.
You just don't know Southampton. They're a weird side.
The problem is that there's 2 teams for us sure that I think are going down, and then there's the open spot, which is what happened last season as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Oh my god! What did you go first? Or what do you think?
So I was gonna say 16th.
Yeah. Okay. That's. I was gonna say 17th, so that's around the same spot anyway, man.
Yeah, I was gonna go 16th because with Southampton, they're a weird side. They can go to Man City and win, then they go on 4 games. Then they'll play their next 4 games and lose them all quite heavily. And then they might win a big game and then lose and go on a win. They are such a strange side. I think with Southampton, they got an 11 there. He's got now, he's got an 11, but that is it. So once one person comes out and someone comes in, they haven't got enough replacements around to bring. I just don't think. I think they'll win the odd game here and there. I think they'll beat some top 6 sides this season, like as a surprise, like they always do.
Yeah, because the game they lost to Man U, if you watch that game, they were better. They were a better team.
Yeah, it's like the Spurs at the beginning of the season as well. I mean, they just. Yeah, I'm gonna go 16th because
I think that's a good spot. Everyone's gonna be surprised when I get to Everton because I still think that these lot ain't that good, man.
Pick up at Ian. Ian says, doesn't Jamie Reid or show me? I do. I just showed your one, Ian. There you go, my friend. They've played well and still lost 4. Yeah, that's the problem, ain't it? That's the problem, Cav. Yeah.
You know what I think, bro?
Yeah.
It's messed up here. It's because when you go back through the other seasons and stuff and look at the draws, wins, and losses, most of the teams what hang around and stay in the league but don't get anywhere, they either win or lose on it. They don't draw as many games. And because of that, it means that you can lose a game, draw 2, and then the other team could draw 3, and then you just win your 4th one and you're back on the same amount of points as them. Because the draws are killers, isn't it? So that's what happens to us all the time. We won't lose many games ever, but the draws. And that, if you're one of these teams, it keeps you up, man. All teams like this need people like Shea Adams, to score an extra 4 goals, and them only 4 goals will make a massive difference to them teams because most of their strikers only finish on like 10 or 11 goals, nothing more than that. So
yeah, exactly. It's goal scoring is their issue. Same with the next team we're going to talk about, Everton Football Club, 13th at the moment. Dizzy heights for Everton.
Started trash. Don't be fooled, though. Don't be fooled.
I still think they're in trouble because you see their stats here. Played 7, they won 1, and that was their last game. Drawn 4, lost 2. I mean, they've only lost 2 games, same as Chelsea, but
they've drawn quite a bit of it.
Scored 5, conceded 6, which they've got the equally best goal difference in the Premier League. Conceded anyway. Brighton have
Mope only just scored, which was the last game, and they won 1-0. And they could have lost that last game as well. Thing is going to be massive for them, which I said at the beginning of the season when Cav was calling him a basketballer. Onana. He's a beast, man. He's a beast. This geezer is everywhere on the pitch, bro.
He's a big boy.
He looked injured though in the last game because he kept going down. So I don't know if he's still injured. But take my Liverpool shades off and that. I don't see much good in their squad. There's Demarai Gray, Onana, Ben Mee and Tarkowski. That's kind of it. I don't see much in there.
Like, how many games does everyone really think Everton's going to win this season? They've won 1 game in 7 so far, drawn 4. They got to win.
I'll tell you what.
12 more games this season to stay out of relegation.
Last season they won 11 games and they stayed up on the last game and the second to last game.
That's what I'm saying. So they got to win 12 or 13 more games yet.
Nah, they're not winning that many games, bro.
So where are we going? Are you sticking them in your last relegation spot?
This is crazier because the team that I haven't watched as much this season out of every team, I don't know why, is Leeds. For some reason, I feel like I haven't watched many Leeds games.
You were right, actually.
And I know you said that they'll do good, and they've been good so far. I've seen like the Sky Sports fingers and that. And I told you that I already think Bournemouth and Nottingham are going to go down. So I don't... Mate. Wait there. Scroll up a minute just so I can see the rest of the teams in the league. Past Brentford. Let's see. Liverpool.
It's this team right here.
No.
Who are 6th at the moment.
They're not finishing ahead of Fulham, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Everton might get relegated still. I'm looking at them teams now, and I'm like, Brentford play better football than them. Newcastle definitely play better football than them. Fulham are playing better football than most teams. Bournemouth are going down. Yeah, I'm gonna say it, man. They got that final relegation spot, bro.
There you go. So you're going 18th, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, we're putting Everton in 18th.
Trust me, it will be a great day.
Be up Gene Gray, by the way.
I might just get the train down to Liverpool for the sake of it, bro. I'm
just
gonna
to
walk
see
around,
it.
just gonna walk around in my Liverpool
Just to
top,
be
bro.
part of it. Just to soak it in.
Oh, mate, bro. You know how excited I was last season when I thought that we was going to win the Champions League and they were going to get relegated.
Oh yeah.
I was so excited, man, because obviously when I went to Liverpool for the parade and that, there was no Everton fans about on the streets, bro. They were locked in their house, bro.
They were gone.
Locked in, bro.
No, so 18th for going to Everton. Guys, don't forget to get yours in the chat where you think you're going Everton to go finish. We're going 18th. Big up Gene Gray as well. It has been a while, Gene.
I'll send you this when I finish, Joe.
All right, mate.
The list, just so you got it remembered when next time.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, big up, Gene.
Yeah, big up, Gene. I hope you're doing well.
Every time I see her name, man, I'm thinking of the X-Men cartoons and that.
Jean Grey. Yeah, right, Bournemouth. We're saying relegated, ain't we?
Yeah, get out the league now. Leave if you want. Man.
I mean, they've already conceded 19 goals.
Remind me of Derby, man.
They've got a goal difference of minus 13. That's only going to get worse as the season goes on, ain't it?
Well, I will say, somebody did set them up at the beginning of the season, giving Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool back to back. That is disrespectful. Somebody
Yeah.
I don't know who's done that, but
do you think newly promoted teams should have an easier start of Premier League seasons? I know the fixtures are apparently random, but
welcome to the big leagues, man. I don't
or
give
do
a
you
shit.
think, or do you think just That's just throw him in
Yeah,
or whatever
fuck
he
him,
gets.
if you're good enough.
Yeah. Big up G-Man, how you doing?
Fulham weren't complaining when they took points off us, wasn't they? The controversy as well.
That's the way, Hugo.
Come on.
Big up G-Man, how you doing? Well, yeah, so
I didn't
Bournemouth
like that thing that
relegated.
G-Gray wore around her head in the cartoon, though. She pissed me
Yeah.
off. That blue
Yeah,
thing.
why did she wear that?
I don't know, bro, because she looked way
'Cause
better in the Phoenix, bro.
It didn't hold her powers in, did it? It didn't it weren't like Cyclops. She had to wear the glasses.
Yeah.
But that
Rogue,
last X-Men film was terrible, by the way, the Jean Grey one.
Yeah, it was. But I was a fan of Rogue. And then when the movie came out, I was like, this isn't. When the movie came out, I was like, this ain't Rogue.
Anna Paquin, ain't it? Played Rogue in the film, wasn't it? The Bird from True Blood, wasn't it?
Yeah, the one is, yeah. She kept flipping touching up Wolverine to get his powers on that, bro.
Yeah.
Winding me up, bro. It's winding me up. Bro, you know, like, I know they're not going to keep the same costumes and that, but you know, when you're waiting for something completely different, I'm like, this is Rogue, bro. Because in the cartoon, bro, she had the sexy voice and that, bro. Like,
yeah. She had that smoky voice, didn't she?
Yeah. And then I decided to Google her and see what she really looked like. Flipping on. I wish I never done that, man.
Have you ever Googled
It's just an old woman, bro.
Yeah, have you ever Googled the voice of the woman who done the Caramel Bunny adverts?
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that, bro.
Don't do it to yourself, people. Just don't do it to yourself.
It's dangerous, bro.
Just keep that imaginary, keep it going. Right. Bournemouth relegate. Leeds United is the interesting one. I thought they'd have a decent season. I know everyone said they're down, gone. I thought they'd be actually probably a decent side this season. So they've done everything so far. They played 6, won 2, drawn 2, lost 2, scored 10, conceded 10. This is such a Leeds team, ain't it? Yeah. Where are we reckoning? Where are we reckoning with Leeds?
Well, we've done our relegation spots. And they can listen. I just can't see Leeds and Brentford being ahead of all them other teams, bro. One of them are going to end up towards the bottom of the table.
Yeah.
And there's
we got anyone in 17th yet?
Nah, that's the gap. That's the only gap what's left towards the bottom. And I feel like if I had to choose between Brentford and Leeds, I feel like it would be Leeds. But at the same time, I don't want to lie. I just told you I ain't been watching them, so they seem to be in. I don't know.
I've only seen highlights of Leeds, and when the highlights,
Leeds, they got their crowd behind them. They got a good manager. The fans really seem really happy at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, they've conceded 10, scored 10, and they've got a goal difference of 0, so it's far better than last season.
How much have Brentford conceded?
Brentford have got a goal difference of +3, but they've conceded 12, but they scored 15.
I can't lie, bruv.
Brentford can score goals. So, I mean, that Arsenal game, Arsenal just played exceptionally well.
That's the best game I've seen Arsenal play.
I think Brentford will be all right. I think they score goals. If they can keep Tony in that fit, they can score goals.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sorry, Leeds. Just by proxy, I got to put you in that 17th spot, bro. But no disrespect. And their fans are rough. So if any Leeds fans are watching this,
don't come for us. Don't come for us.
Yeah, because I'll happily fight you, bro. I love a scrap. But I'm just trying to be a better man, bro.
A lot of people were saying 9th and 10th in the chat for Leeds.
Okay, do this, Jay. Since everyone else saying 9th and 10th, just ask them now where Brentford's going to finish. And if they
guys,
between Brentford and Leeds, who's finishing 17th?
There you
who's
go.
Finishing 10th.
There you go. There you hear it right now, guys. So between Leeds and Brentford, who's finishing higher?
One's got to finish 17th. One's got to finish 10th. Just
let us know in the chat.
And then the number next to it, and we'll see.
Let us know in the chat, guys. Ravi says Jamie is right. Don't Google the Caramel Bunny voice. Trust me. No, it's not. It's good. She's like 90 years old.
It's crazy, because I've done in the last couple of years. I've done some voice acting and that, and I realised, man, in my research and that, trying to research voice acting, I was like, nobody looks like who they sound like in it.
Nah.
It throws me off, bro. It throws me off so much, man.
It's like you're a massive Toy Story fan. It's like the Woody doll, ain't it?
Woody,
the Woody doll. It's Tom Hanks' brother's voice, ain't it?
Yeah.
He gets his brother to do it, and he keeps royalties. I mean, big up Tom. I remember him talking about Leeds 15th. Big up, my friend. If I have to choose, then Brentford 10th. Yeah, we're gonna drop Leeds in 17th because
yeah, we'll do that. I was gonna say though, Jay, when the Leeds fans come for us and that, I'm blaming you on it. So
yeah, I would go for it. I live miles away from them. I'm all right. They ain't coming down south.
I think I've set up some rogue fetishes in the comment section, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
Rogue's voice is naughty, though. It is naughty.
Oh, bro. I was watching it like 2 days ago, man. I'm like, flipping hell, man. And Thingy as well. She-Hulk's voice as well. The old She-Hulk in the cartoon.
I was about to say, the new girl, she's nice. She's pretty even when she ain't She-Hulk, to be fair.
Yeah, but she's, there's mad stuff with her, yeah. You'll see her in She-Hulk with her curly hair chilling. See her on the red carpet, bro. It looks like two different people. Both look pretty in that, but she looks like a complete different person. Oh,
yeah. Totally. She does, don't she? Because she's got that shorter hair, a bit of a rat, and then she turns. And yeah, I mean, geez. Newcastle United, in my opinion, are going to finish where they are right now.
What position in now?
They're in 10th. They're in 10th right now. Played 7. They've not had, their start's been decent. Played 7, won 1, drawn 5, lost 1, scored 8, conceded 7. They got Fulham next, away to Fulham as well. That's going to be a big game.
The question is, when obviously they drew the last game 1-1 on it because Ishak scored a penalty, and before that they played us and lost, but they were good against us, to be fair, without their top players.
Yeah,
I need to know how long Wilson and Maximan's out before I can, because if they're back after this break, fine. I think Newcastle will finish ahead of Fulham. I don't think Fulham will sustain being up there, but I think they'll still do good. I would have Newcastle at... I don't know. I'd have Newcastle finishing ahead of Brentford and Fulham, to be honest. Which would probably be about 8th. Leicester finished 8th last season. Newcastle finished 11th, 3 points behind them.
Yeah, I don't see much difference where Newcastle will go finish like they did last season. It's going to be between that 11th and 8th spot.
Do you think that the other two will finish ahead of them? Because in the last part of this table now, we've got Brighton, Newcastle, and Brentford and Fulham.
It's the top 6 and then a few extras, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think Fulham will go slide way down.
Yeah, me too. So I think Fulham will slide down to 10th, and then Brentford.
I got Fulham 12th, I think, when I was writing this down earlier.
We've got no spaces left.
No.
Got Crystal Palace at 12th.
We got 11th. No one at the moment, have we? Villa. So Newcastle. I think Newcastle. I can see Newcastle in that. I just can't see Fulham in the top 10.
Yeah, so if you put Newcastle 9th and put Fulham 10th,
yeah, that
can work.
Do it like that. All right. So Newcastle 9th, then that leads us to Brentford.
They're a hard one, isn't it? See, the more we go up the list, there's more teams that you can't see finishing there. But at the same time, at some point they're going to have to, innit? So one of these teams are going to.
I mean, the top 6 teams in the Premier League are going to take up them 6 places. So then you got 7th, 8th, and 9th, and 10th really up for grabs. And some teams have started really well. I mean, Brentford have already, they're on 9 points. They've already scored 15 goals. I know they've only won 2 games, but you can see them winning matches. So
there's a point what I want to say to Thingy, Brighton, because I know a lot of people already are saying because Potter's gone now, they're not going to do as well. But we still don't know, because let's be honest, they've got a new manager, but if that manager sees that Brighton already have a good way of playing football and he doesn't have to change too much, why would you change it?
Well, Brighton are quite shrewd in everything they do business-wise. I mean, they went and got Potter for no one was getting Potter. He went and got Potter, changed their team around, and you gotta feel like the owners of the club want Brighton to continue to play in a similar fashion that they did under Graham Potter. So the manager they got now, when did the Sassuolo manager as well in Italy? Marcelo manager.
Good manager.
And he had that good team of Verdi and Bernardi. What's his name? Bernardi, is it? Or whatever his name is, the winger.
Yeah.
And he built a decent team there
as well, hasn't
he? Yeah, he built a decent team there in them with the team that they are, a small Italian team. So, yeah, I think Brighton might be all right. I think Brighton might be all right. I'm going to go Newcastle 9th.
Say, bro?
I'm going to go Newcastle 9th. Yeah.
I'll go Brentford. I will go Brighton 8th, and then
Brentford 10th. And Brentford. So Brentford 10th. Newcastle
actually.
9th. No.
Well, because we ain't put Fulham in the spot yet.
And then Fulham.
Fulham 10th.
All right, Fulham 10th then. Newcastle 9th.
Yep. Brentford 8th.
Brentford 8th.
Yeah. And then where's Brighton 7th?
Brighton 7th. Look at that.
We revised it right at the end, but I think that might be
right. We'll go with that. I mean,
you know what's likely to happen? I think we'll be right about most of it, but you know that small pack of teams that we had at the beginning between like 11th and 15th. One of them teams will break out on it, and they'll end up towards the top. And
so if anything, one of them, as you say, one of them teams we predicted in the bottom half of the table will break out. A Fulham or a Brentford will drop into that. It's going to be one of them, but we'll go with that at the moment. So let's do this top 6. Let's get the top 6.
We go.
Right.
Here we go.
Let's talk about Liverpool because that's our club first. So, Cav's here as well. Big up Cav. In from the gym.
Man, like Cav and that. Come on.
How you doing? You right?
Yeah, we're doing well, mate. You been all right?
Good, man.
Yeah, sound. I can only stop for about half an hour or so, but
it's all right. We should be finished by then because we're just doing the top 6 now.
Yeah, great show, guys. Don't let me stop you.
I've got these. I'm so desperate to eat them.
Tea cakes.
There's already 2 missing, Jamie. What are you on about?
There's already 2. Yeah, because I had a sneaky couple before I started. And they're just sitting right next to me. Tunnock's tea cakes. They're just absolutely beautiful.
They just remind me of school day, dude.
Yeah, I just love them. Yeah, I used to have them after school with a cup of tea. My mum would make it all up and put it as a lunch. Oh, it's nice.
Come on.
Now I'm going to scoff a box of 6 as soon as I'm finished. So, time to change.
Simpler times, man.
So, Kev,
where are we up to?
We're going to do the top 6 now. So we just did. We just put
Should I read out the spots?
Yeah, read out all the spots.
Yeah, from 7th downwards, we've got Brighton
in 7th.
Then we got Brentford, Newcastle, Fulham, Villa, Palace, West Ham, Leicester, Wolves, Southampton, Leeds, Everton, Nottingham Forest, and then Bournemouth.
The standout one for me in that is I think you've been really kind to Fulham. I know.
Yeah, that's what we just said. We said that somebody will probably have to change.
Yeah,
that's what we're saying. Someone in that between that 14th and 17th, 13th and 17th. One of them will go break out and get in the top 10, and then you can either see a Brighton or a Brentford or a Fulham dropping.
If I'm honest, Jay, the only problem is then I'm just only going off how I've seen them previously. If I had to pick one of them teams out at the bottom, that pack what we picked to finish higher up would be West Ham.
Yeah.
But that's just based off the last couple of seasons. Because I could say the same thing about Leicester, but I can't see Leicester climbing. Leicester have an extra job to do now. They need to get into that spot and then go up again. So,
yeah, and they are massively underperforming. Like,
yeah, exactly.
They're well below what they'd expect of themselves. So they should really, at some point, get their act together and fly up the table. I don't think Moyes is at risk just yet.
Because they're still playing good football. Remember, there's still been dodgy decisions. What have ripped them off this season as well, like against Chelsea, that should have been a win. So, and I think them 3 points would have shut them right up, but it's still early. But let's do the 6 then.
Right, let's do the top 6. Let's start with Liverpool.
Talking about Liverpool now.
Let's start about our club. So, obviously, we've not started the season well at all. I mean, it's not even, it's. Who did we have first? We had Fulham, didn't we, in our first game of the season? It was just, it's not been a good start, has it? I'll go through our fixtures. So, here we go. Where are we? So, we played, obviously, we won the Community Shield in a 3-1 win against City on the 30th of July. We was all happy. We was all pumped. Great performance. And then we played Strasbourg the day after and lost 3-0 and then lost Canate to a knee injury. So then we started the Premier League season against Fulham, drawing 2-2. Absolutely outplayed, looked awful, off it. Then the following week we played Crystal Palace the following Monday. So we had them back. This is when we had the back-to-back Monday game. So we had Palace first in a 1-1 draw at Anfield. Terrible.
I don't think we was terrible in that game, but I think it was not a good result.
Darwin Núñez decided to commit GBH. And then then the following Monday, we lost to Man United 2-1.
Terrible.
Then we came back and beat Bournemouth 9-0 in a strange game. Then we beat Newcastle 2-1 for last-minute goal. So that was 2 wins and a bounce. Then we had that horrible 0-0 draw against Everton. Then we got smashed to pieces by Napoli. And that was our last Premier League game, was Everton on the 3rd of September. We was meant to play Wolves, but obviously that got back to the Queen, and we was meant to play Chelsea as well. So our next Premier League game is Brighton, and then so our games in October, this big October that all the teams have got. We have got Brighton, Arsenal, Man City, West Ham, Nottingham Forest, and Leeds. They're our Premier League games in October.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited, bro.
Now, me and Cav were talking about this. Me and Cav were talking about this yesterday. We were saying that Liverpool are sometimes better when they got to play game after game after game with training.
Yeah.
Although Jurgen hates the fact that we have a game after game after game, so you think, but do you think as well that we're going to be in October? We're actually going to see the best of Liverpool because we have got so many games back to back with Champions League as well.
You want to know, man? I don't think we're going to drop points in October.
There you go. Savage coming.
We're in a weird situation. Yeah, I'm actually like more excited now. I had to readjust how I thought about the whole season, but I don't see us getting any worse than any performance we've already put in at all. I'm aware that like some of our better players can still get injured throughout the season, but I just think that we'll start picking up victories from now. I think the performances will pick up as well, because we were really good in the Ajax game. You know what I mean? The scoreline doesn't really tell the whole story. We could, you know what I mean? We were really good, and the teams that we have to play. I mean, we have to beat Man City, just for us anyway. Not in terms of the whole season right now. But I think we need to beat them because we've got them at home, innit? So, and Leeds and Brighton and all that stuff. I think
so. Brighton's our first game back. Now, me and Kev were speaking about this yesterday. When we usually Liverpool have a long break, it don't benefit us. But weirdly, I think this time it will. Yeah. Because we had that good win against Ajax. The team's happy. Got a good performance as well. Let's face that Ajax performance was a decent performance.
Good
we should have won that 3 or 4-1. I mean, we played them. It was a good performance.
Yeah.
Then by the time the 1st October comes around, we play Brighton. Apart from the Ox and Keita, I think we got everyone back. We've got pretty much a fit squad. The Brighton game's at home. The Arsenal game's away and the Man City game's at home. The West Ham game's at home and the Nottingham Forest game's away. This October's going to be interesting. Obviously, back-to-back games of Rangers in between. I think we'll be all right. I think that month of October, you'll see the best of Liverpool. I think that's what I said. I think I think you'll see how the Premier League shakes up after October because it's so busy, especially with the top 6 teams all in Europe as well.
Put it this way: if you get out of October and City's at the top of the table by three points or more, it's finished, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. So, where we put in the Reds then?
Can I just before we predict? Can I just say one word?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah,
one word because it's this powerful for me.
Yeah,
Thiago.
Yeah, come on.
Thiago's the word.
Come on, honest. Slip him some steroids and an inhaler, man.
I'm telling you now, right? For as fantastic as this Liverpool team are, and the amount of like world-class players that we have, Thiago is the guy. He dictates what happens this season. I'm telling you now, right? Ajax performance shown that. Liverpool played well against Ajax, right? And they had to without Thiago, we don't play half as well. I'm telling you now. Like,
I agree.
if he stays, we've all said if he stays fit for the whole season, we probably win the league. Like, if he stays fit for the whole of October, we'll have a chance. If he misses games, we won't. Like, he's that important. It's crazy.
I think if Thiago, we go on a run through October and win all the games I said we're going to win. I think what Thiago can do is, we don't know if he's going to stay fit for the rest of the season and whatever, but I think he can either start us off on a run. By the time he gets injured, we'll be on a run anyway. It's kind of what happened last season when we had to catch up with Man City. By the time he had got injured in between the run, we were so into it just going through. Because I tried not to the reason why I didn't tweet any of these stuff in it, because it sounds like because I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm saying these things in it. But I would like somebody to tell me in the world who does what Thiago does, yeah. And don't try and give me the bro because he doesn't play the same, bro.
No, they're different kind of midfielders, ain't they?
There's no one left like him, bro. There's no Iniesta around anymore.
He reminds you of Iniesta and Xavi's when they were playing for Barcelona.
And they don't exist anymore. So
he's that kind of footballer. So when people look at Thiago, it annoys me because we're very much a stats generation now. It's all on stats, ain't it? You know, GA and your X or whatever it is where you score. I hate that.
Jay.
Is there a worse stat in the world than that? I hate that.
I have to say, man, I can't remember whose stream it was the other day. It was one of the Liverpool streams. And I heard man say, "What's his XG?" And I nearly kicked my screen.
I can't stand that stat.
Where does that even mean?
From?
We're talking about something.
What does it even mean?
It's a prediction. It's a prediction on how much goals they think you should score. A computer predicted it. What does that mean? If the XG was correct, I'd be a millionaire because I'll just go to the bookies. I'll just go to the bookies and go, the XG is this. So of course, it's ridiculous. Now, I'll probably say that the XG for when Haaland's on the pitch is probably correct. But apart from that, bro, I don't know what people want. That's so weird, bro.
Well, that would actually be interesting to see, you know, because Haaland gets like 7 touches in a game, but can score 2 goals. I wonder what his XG would actually be. I know it caters for what's going on around him and stuff, but like that would be an interesting one. I might have to have a look at that.
Man City are literally the only team that actually get anywhere close to what the prediction is. Because usually they predicted to score like 3 goals or more, and they do in nearly every game. Apart from that, bro, come on, man. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should start a challenge and I'll put £1 in every week at the bookies, and I'll go off XG and I'll post it. I'll post it and then we'll see.
Just do a bet. Do a bet on XG or for all your bets and see what you'll probably be out of pocket.
I'm right, I will, bro.
It's just I can't stand stats. We live in that stats world now. So when you bring up Thiago to somebody, they go, "Oh, what's his assist and goals?" Or he doesn't get. So, is that how you look at football?
Mate, I had a long conversation.
I personally don't think people watch football anymore. I think people watch highlights. I think the human beings now are being. Everything needs to be a 3-minute highlight. We can't consume more than 3 minutes anymore. Everything's a free. We look at all big YouTube shows and everything like that, or big videos that go viral. Everything's 3 minutes. You know, that's what you consume, and
it's facts.
And I think people will do that in highlights now. No one sits down anymore on the armchair. Everyone's got. Me growing up, I still have it now. I've got an armchair that is my football chair that I sit in to watch football. Yeah. I will watch football for 90 minutes, right? And I can watch a 90-minute game over and over and over and see how players do. I think everyone looks at a 3-minute highlight package now and goes, well, what did Thiago do in that game? He didn't do anything.
Bro,
like, you're not watching football.
Man. Agreed. I watch probably more football than I should, literally, just because like most of my work's from home, innit? So when I'm editing and stuff, the screen's always on. So I'm watching some kind of Spanish football or something. And I'm telling you, bro, sometimes I'll see people posting stuff on Twitter about like a game and that. I've seen it a lot last season. You know, every time people try to slag Messi off, like Ronaldo would score and then somebody would tweet, "What's your GOAT doing?" I'm like, I just watched this geezer ball out in this match. What are you talking about?
Oh no.
And you can tell that, like, because it's Twitter and that's why it's always good when the platforms let people come on, because I can see their face. Because I don't know if I'm talking to a 13-year-old sometimes, because let's be honest, bro. If you want to go about stats and then talk about some of the greatest players to ever live, their stats ain't the greatest, bro. You know what I mean? So
like
Zidane's stats ain't the greatest.
Zidane is arguably the best midfielder, mate. One of the best midfielders of all time, yeah. Especially
Bergkamp's got trash stats as well.
Terrible his stats are worse than Frank Lampard's. But who's picking Frank Lampard over Zidane?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
It's just like don't.
I think Bergkamp
But
in
then
the
back then, them sort of players, the stats weren't
Yeah.
like they are now. They weren't reading assists like they are now, and things like that. I mean, there's this stat up now, ain't they, that Gerrard and De Bruyne have got the same amount of assists in the Premier League, but De Bruyne has played 257 games less. Gerrard's stats for assists would be incredible if he was playing with the likes of the Man City players. You know,
Bro, just look at who De Bruyne has had to feed the ball to, bro. Just stop the foolishness.
Exactly.
Bro.
You put Gerrard in Klopp's team.
Listen, the records will show
in
years to come. The records will show that Haaland is way better than Aguero, in it.
Yeah.
It's not the truth, bro. It's not. That's not the truth, bro.
No, Aguero's
not
all
the
round.
truth,
bro. Aguero's
Skiza is a goal scoring machine, bro. But
Yeah.
they're getting to the point now. If you, bro, just a question on it. I have to ask this. I asked my friend this earlier at the gym. If Lewandowski was playing in Haaland's position right now, the goals would be the same, bro.
Yeah, cool.
I promise, bro. I
Well,
promise this season. I mean, don't go off that last
class.
game against Barcelona, Bayern Munich, because he missed sitters in that game. But listen, just stop it, man. And there's nothing against Haaland, by the way. I think he's incredible, but
Yeah, any world class finisher would be getting the goals like Haaland. They just.
I suppose everyone thinks that. Yeah, I suppose everybody thinks that Haaland's better than Shearer already, and I bet everybody does. Go put it on Twitter. Put a poll up on Twitter. Watch everyone say Haaland's way better than Shearer. I'm like, did you watch Shearer play football? Then no one could push him off the ball. Great in the air, long range shot.
What if Haaland doesn't break Vardy's record at 11 consecutive Premier League goals in a row? Does that mean he's not as good as Vardy? I mean, it's just, you know, it's stats do my tits in. They really do, and I hate all that. But as you say, Thiago he's the X factor in our team. He gets everything going, and he's our best defender. He's our best playmaker. You got him in a team. This team's cooking, and I don't know what it is. I think we're finished second. I still think we. I
actually said at the beginning of the season, then I picked us to finish first in it. But if I'm just gonna be like objective, because I said to Cav at the beginning of the season, and I said the first 10 games and that we can't be dropping points in more than 2 games, and we've done that after the first 2 games in it. So still believe though. I still have belief, but if I'm gonna be if we're gonna analyze this properly, then
we look at it. We're 9 points behind. It's bad. You know, Arsenal are on 18 points, 7 wins out of 6, 6 wins out of 7.
Don't scare me one bit, bro.
But I've said it for a while now, and I will keep saying it. Arsenal are flat track bullies. Look at all the teams they played. They've only played one decent side, and that was Man United, and they got beaten. I've been saying I think Arsenal are a very young side, quite an immature side. I think as the season goes on and you get into harder parts of the season, I think Arsenal will start to struggle. Still, I think Arsenal will finish in top 4, but I just don't think. I don't think they're. I mean, Arsenal fans think they go win the league now. And they think if they don't win the league, it's a disappointing season. It's just,
which is crazy because like Arsenal are on they're on the right path. There's so many positives for them, and like, don't get me wrong, when like you winning game after game, which they are, everything looks rosy. But I think even a few like defeats, drop off in the table, if they finish 4th, I still think they're on the right path.
They're on the right path.
Grow as a club. So
right. Are we all going second for Liverpool still?
I'm going second.
I'm going second.
I'm going to go second, but I think everyone's saying Man City is going to win it a canter. I don't think they do. I think there'll be a bit of a gap. It could be like 6, 7, 8 points. I do think second and third is going to be really close, though. I must admit, Liverpool for me. With my heart, I'm saying second. With my head, I'm trying to convince myself they're not going to be pulled into a fight for third place. Maybe
I have to think we'll finish second because I picked Arsenal to finish third, and I can't live in a world where they finish above us, bro. I can't, bro. The fans are going to annoy the hell out of me.
I mean, Edward's saying City will win the league by 15 points. I don't.
No, I don't.
I think City will win the league, but I think only just. I think he might go to the last day of the season again.
Just based on that Newcastle and Crystal Palace game.
They got flaws in their side, and let's face it. You take Haaland out this team at the moment. I don't think they're winning as many games as you think. I think during the season, the loss of Sterling and Gabriel Jesus will start a show. I really do. I think I think it will start the show because I think Haaland will probably break Salah's record, but
at the minute they play him every single game.
Yeah,
Every
and they're going to
game.
have to because the way City play now, City don't play with wingers anymore. Grealish is doing nothing. Grealish is just a bum. You know, he's just a ghost on the pitch. He's not doing anything. They don't really play width like they used to. You think the City under Pep Guardiola was all about width, make the pitch wide. Now they play very narrow. De Bruyne doesn't do anything in a game anymore. He just waits for the pass and then feeds it to Haaland, and it's a goal. You know, Haaland is only ever waiting for that final ball from De Bruyne, and he's in, and he's going to score because he's a machine. So if they can keep doing that, they will win the league by a bit. But I just don't know in a long season with a World Cup. I don't think it'll be a massive, like Edward saying, 15-point gap. I think
if I'm honest, I think De Bruyne is the more important one than Haaland. I think if De Bruyne gets injured, it's curtains, and I think then it's more of a struggle compared to Haaland, because I think you can put somebody else in Haaland's position that can still score the goals, but it like everything does seem to come through De Bruyne, man, and he doesn't really have a position. Like the pitch will show that when the game starts, but once you watch him in the game, he drifts over to that right spot. It's kind of funny because he drifts over to where Trent normally is, but he just does everything down there, and he's crossing, and that's ridiculous, bro. Like I don't even when he takes corners, I'm like, flipping hell, bro. How's he doing this, man? Well, like Edward said, I don't think they've got a chance of going invincible at all, bro. I don't think they do. No, I think in the next 2 games they lose a game, to be honest, something like that. But
no, I don't think anyone.
They are the best team in the league, but.
To go invincible, you've got to have an absolutely solid defense, and they've not got a solid defense. It's just that they're so good at controlling possession and creating chances that they win most of their games. But as we've seen, if you go at their defense, they can be a bit leaky. So for that reason, I think that's the reason they can't go. They could break. They could break. Maybe they break 9 points again. But I don't think they can go invincible.
Like you look at the goals. Look at the goals conceded from City and Liverpool. 6, exactly the same. All you hear from the media is that Liverpool's defence is tosh, but we conceded the same. We conceded the same amount of goals as Man City. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. This vibe out there that Liverpool's defence is tosh. Van Dijk's dead. He's not the player he was. But our goal. We've conceded exactly the same goals as Man City, but no one's talking about that because Haaland's putting the ball in the back of the net every match. This is what I'm saying. It can be got at. If Liverpool's defence is terrible, then what's Man City's? If you got the same amount of... Brighton have got the best at 5. Now...
The problem Man City's got is that we've conceded goals by playing shit. Like, we've been terrible. They are playing their normal football and they're just leaking goals anyway. So, that's why it seemed like I'm being optimistic about Liverpool, but it's because I'm like, all we need to do is get back to our regular standard of football, and I think we've got the better defense anyway. Yeah. And then we just need to put the ball in the back of the net. So, I don't know. They're the best team, man, but they control stuff from the midfield on it, and it's kind of hard to get the ball off them.
What we have to acknowledge is Man City have, if we're going to call both teams as having transitions, Man City have transitioned better. Let's say that, right? With the new players coming in. Than Liverpool have, but Liverpool have been through like a injury crisis, you know. And if Man City go through that same crisis, they could really fall away. You look at that defense, right? And although Ake's done well when he's come in, like if they lose Cancelo, that's massive for them in both, defending and going forward. If they lose like Laporte and Diaz, like they could be screwed.
If Man City lost Rodri and De Bruyne at the same time, they'd have trouble.
All those two,
because right. I think Rodri and De Bruyne are key to this Man City team working.
Yeah, Rodri,
and that's what we've been through. That's what we've been through. We've lost Thiago and Henderson and Jota and all. They're massive players for us. So take away their massive.
It's quite weird about De Bruyne, bro. Like, do you remember the one that league before without De Bruyne most of the damn near most of the season? When Sterling was their best player. And then, all of a sudden, he doesn't get injured anymore. Like, he's on steroids, bro. This is weird, but he's always there. That season, Diaz got injured towards the end of the season. Yeah, they do rest him every now and again. Diaz got injured towards the end of last season, and they still got over the line. But I reckon a couple of more games, if Liverpool was there, we would have won the league. But yeah, they're a problem, man. They're the control. I think Jamie's right though. Rodri's he's the glue man because he does the simple job properly, man. All the fancy stuff from like Cancelo and that, sometimes it's not needed, and he can be got out defensively. Diaz isn't as good as everyone says he is, although he is great, but he's not. He's still overrated. You're right about Ake. Stones is still Stones, so every now and again he can falter.
It's
and
Rodri.
then obviously whoever they're going to right back, because I told you guys already, Paul Walker's going to lose games. So
yeah, and Rodri's just different. I'm telling you, if Rodri, like with City, they do get injuries, but it's usually one and no one else. Like with Liverpool, we get everyone at the same time in the same position. So Liverpool get a midfield injury, then the following week there'll be two other midfielders that are injured straight after. So you got no one to fill in. With City, De Bruyne could get injured, but everyone else stays fit, so there's not a problem. But if De Bruyne, literally, if they lost De Bruyne and Rodri for one game, or for 2 or 3 games, I think they struggle because you have to bring Calvin Phillips in, who's not played yet. I mean, that's just mad. It just shows City's wealth that they can buy a player. The amount of money they spent on Calvin Phillips and just leave him on the bench and not even play him. But if he played, he wouldn't be up to speed, and he's not as good as Fabinho, is he? And who do you replace De Bruyne with? You know, it's just it changes the dynamic of that team. If you look at the way Pep set up this City side this season, as I say, everything goes narrow. Cancelo and Walker are now becoming central midfielders when they come in, a bit like Robbo and Trent are doing for Liverpool. Nothing's out wide anymore. Everything's through the middle. Everything's through the middle for De Bruyne. Everything's set up for Rodri to protect, De Bruyne to create, and Haaland to score. That's what everything's built around.
Yeah, and they got Ronaldo as the bad boy, man. He's a G's, man. You
take them 3 out, and I think it's a different team. But they don't lose players like that, do they? That's the thing. They keep them quite well. But one thing I want to say when I'm talking about Liverpool, I'm just going to talk to all Liverpool fans right here, right now. Any Liverpool fan watching, can we lay off the Darwin Núñez slander because it's getting on my nerves? Obviously, there's that video going around online on Twitter at the moment. Everyone's laughing at him for an overhit cross. People actually think he's shooting. It's mad. He's actually crossing the ball. Has everyone seen it?
Yeah. It's definitely a cross, bro. Like
he's crossing it. He's overhit the cross. Yeah, I have seen many professional footballers, top draw professional footballers, overhit crosses. I'm not bothered by it.
It's training, bro. That's where them.
But it's a training video, and what annoys me is it's Liverpool fans making all this up now. It's not even opposition.
Pussy only recorded it anyway, man. Who recorded that, bro?
But I want to know where. I bet they don't show the good stuff he did.
I'll find it. This little TikTok prick, bro. Whoever recorded that, bro.
It's so irritating. But Liverpool fans, get behind him. The man has only played 200 minutes for Liverpool. What do you want him to do?
What makes me laugh is like Jota's fit, so he's not even our number one striker. Like, just lay off him, man. Like, it don't even matter.
All I'll say, Cavill, I said this before the season started, and then everyone kept saying to me, "Well, he cost this much money." I don't care, bro. It's not my money, bro. I said this to Jamie as well. Why the hell would Jota not start all of a sudden when he scored 20 goals in the season and didn't do anything wrong?
Well, he's number one.
This guy's money, bro. Money doesn't mean anything anymore. It's what the other team charge you for the player.
He's number one forward, isn't he? Me and Cav saying he's number one striker at the moment, ain't he? Jota for me is number one striker.
And the thing is, my thoughts on it haven't changed, bro. Literally, I only said Núñez when Jota was injured.
Darwin's learning the game. Darwin doesn't know. Like when you watch the game against Ajax, we completely changed out. You know when you're saying about changing tactics, and I think you're right in the Ajax game because you've noticed Salah and Luis Diaz and Salah were much closer to Jota in the number 9 position against Ajax. They weren't all. That's why Salah scored because he's much more closer to the main striker where he needs to be. So I think Klopp did change it and went back to what he knows and went like, let's put Jota up top, get Salah close to him, get Luis Diaz running the wings, Thiago and Fabinho are back. I'm being solid now in midfield. I can play higher up, and it worked. But Jota knows everyone. Jota can look at Trent and get the ball and knows when Trent's going to deliver it, so he knows when to run. If he sees Thiago on the ball, he knows that ball's coming to his feet, so he can get into position. You know, he knows the position. He's learnt that position under Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp. Darwin Núñez don't yet. He hasn't got a clue. He doesn't know what everyone's going to do around him yet. So he's making runs. What people don't look at with Darwin Núñez that does my nutting, is that Darwin Núñez makes some excellent runs and no one ever finds him. He always runs the channels. He likes running in between the centre-back and full-back into them channel areas. That's where Darwin Núñez likes to run. No one ever finds him. Thiago's the only one, and sometimes Thiago overhits the pass. He will get it right eventually.
Let's see a run of games for Núñez when Thiago's in the team.
Because
I think with him, he obviously, I don't mind anyone having their view on Núñez at all. I don't really care, but like being rude about him and saying, especially when you're a Liverpool fan, you know full well when he scores, you're going to celebrate. So stop being a scumbag, bro. You know what I mean? You can have your views on what he's going to be like. Clearly, he's not shit because we wouldn't have brought him. That's the standard. And the team's been crap. So he's going to be crap. Like everyone's been crap. Diaz, Elliot, everyone else has been crap, bro. So it is what it is. And he's coming to a team, no confidence yet. It will build it up. You've seen him after he scored a goal against Man City, how excited he was. And then we started the season shit. He come on and scored against Fulham. So he will grow in confidence in it. And everyone keeps saying he ain't going to offer anything other than scoring goals. Well, you was all praising Haaland for it. So what are you talking about?
You want some
you don't, bruv.
Do you want some Arthur Melo news? Arthur Melo has recruited a physiotherapist and a fitness coach and a nutritionist to work with him daily as he looks to impress Jurgen Klopp and forge a lengthy career at Liverpool. That comes from Paul Joyce today. And he's been doing, have you seen, he's been doing double training and he's been playing these under-21 games. And apparently the word coming out is that Klopp is proper impressed by his acumen.
You'd be impressed just for his work ethic, innit? Trying.
Yeah. And like that is why you will see Arthur play games for Liverpool. I can't wait for it. I'd like to see a midfield of Arthur.
I don't know why can't our fans just get behind our players, bro?
I know.
If there's any time to get behind our players.
We literally start every game singing "You'll Never Walk Alone." It's funny when like this Núñez stuff. Go on the people like that is retweeting it. Go on their profiles. In their bio, they've got like "You'll Never Walk Alone" and then like a Liverpool header. You're like, what are you doing here? What? You'll never walk alone unless you overhit a crossing training. Is that the level now?
I just find it funny that that they all think Darwin was shooting. Firstly, he never looked at the goal once, and his body shape is that way. He's looking at, and then I tweeted someone and said, "Well, he's obviously crossing. Why do you think he's shooting?" And he went, "Who's he crossing to?" And then I put a still up. The other geezer in the orange vest at the back post. I mean, just stop making agendas where there ain't one. Just
for me, bro, like the video's funny, but then I didn't expect in the comment section to see people taking it serious. So it is funny. It's only funny because he hasn't done anything for Liverpool yet, and we've been shit. But like, when I was in the comment section, I'm like, "Oh, you not think it's serious? Okay, well, it's not funny anymore. It was funny because it's like."
I'm telling you now, he only gets criticised because he cost a lot of money and he's got a ponytail. Like
it's true. It's true.
You got a ponytail. Well. You got long hair. You're up for like 5% more criticism than anyone else.
Criticised as well is because Haaland's banging the goals, ain't he? Yeah, I don't want banging the goals. I don't think anyone would be saying anything.
Even if Núñez was banging goals, Haaland was still going to score more goals than him.
Haaland's not real. He's like an android from the Matrix. The man's not real. So
anyone knows when you've perfected a craft, a certain thing, what you can do easy.
Yeah,
you just become elite at it. So for Haaland, it's like, yo, you lot can talk shit about me all the time about me not doing anything else. Like I would care. You know, it's actually more impressive if I've only had 7 touches in a game and I've scored 3 goals. To use lot sweating and shit. Meanwhile, I'm scoring hat tricks and my team's winning. Why would he care? You not see the video of him walking down the street in Manchester, bro? This geezer's a fucking weirdo, bro. He doesn't care about it.
But with Haaland,
Haaland.
If you put Haaland in Liverpool's team right now, with the problems we've had, the problems we've had in midfield, trying to control games and all that, how many goals seriously would Haaland have?
It'd be on about 3 or 4.
Exactly. So, and that's Haaland, who's probably the best finisher in the world at the moment. So, why are we expecting Núñez to be on 10 goals or something this season already when he's brand new to a team that the team is not its old self at the moment? If Darwin Núñez came to this team last season, could you imagine? It'd be banging because the team was fit and ready. We had the most settled squad we've had in years last season. And he would have been a different player. But he's coming to a team where everyone got crooked, everyone's injured. The main part of our team is midfield, and it's not working. So how do you expect Darwin to score? He's not Thierry Henry. He's not going to pick up the ball in the halfway line, take everybody on and put it at the back of the net. That's not his game. Darwin Núñez don't want to do that. He wants to just play the ball off and get in the box and get on the end of something. That's all he wants to do. But if you've not got the players behind him who are capable of giving him to that, why does everyone think he's going to score 20 goals? It's stupid.
Yeah.
Just stupid.
Right, guys. Sorry, I've got to bounce.
No worries, mate.
I'll leave you guys to do the rest of your predictions.
He's got an old lady to meet, man. You know what I'm saying?
I've got football tonight. I've got to go bang some goals myself.
Come on, bro.
So, yeah, Sam, big up everyone in the chat. Smash the like for Jamie. I'll catch you guys soon. All right.
See you later, my man.
See you later.
Cav, sorry.
Yeah.
Before you go, are you in tomorrow for tomorrow night, 7 o'clock? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah, but you clap out or clap in?
What are you asking stupid questions like that for?
No, man. There's Liverpool fans saying clap out. You know what I'm saying?
Don't listen to them.
I'll see you tomorrow night.
See you there, guys.
Bro. Peace.
Right, so we're going Liverpool second. We're going Man City first.
Yeah. Oh man, it kills me,
right.
man. Kills me to put Man City first, but you know what? We'll win the Champions League, so I'll take it.
Go. Arsenal, and Tottenham. Who's
Arsenal's going to finish
higher?
third. Arsenal's going to finish third.
What, Arsenal have not finished in front of Tottenham now for 7 years, is it?
Yeah, but before them 7 years,
they finished
ahead of Arsenal for about 40, bro. So
exactly. Everyone forgets that, don't they, when they bring up things like I bring up.
Oh, bro, it's like when they do the thing to Liverpool. You went 30 years without winning the Premier League. I'm like, yeah, Chelsea went 50. Tottenham still hasn't won it.
Yeah.
So what do you want me to do about it, bro? I don't know when people say that.
But they always forget about the 18 we won before. It's just like
people just like to people like to live in the moment because it's like people do. And this is nothing against Man City, but they're like, oh, so it's like a farmers' league now. They're all. I'm like, bro, did you not see what it was like growing up with Man U, bro?
I don't get that. I was going to say that. Everyone keeps saying it's farmers' league with City, yeah, but they've won. Is it
Man U won three leagues back to back?
Man United in the Premier League when it started till 2013 or whatever it was, apart from Chelsea and Blackburn. They won every other league title. I think Arsenal, Chelsea, and Blackburn are the only other teams that won the Premier League. Man United won everything.
Yeah, it's
always been a farmers' league, as to say.
It's more competitive now than it was then.
Than it was back then. Exactly.
Because in the last decade we've had Leicester, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City to win the league.
Yeah, and plus, all the teams are more competitive in the Premier League now.
And the points gap is different as well because Man U are winning the games with
70 odd points. It's mad.
Exaggeration, isn't it?
I think Arsenal will finish third.
Yeah, I picked them to finish third before the season started as well. I think, I can just see when something's been built there, man, and they've given their manager time in it, and they're playing good football. I can still see deficiencies. Yeah, I can still see deficiencies, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter because them deficiencies might drop you points here or there, but they don't need maximum points all the time because their aim is to finish in the Champions League spot. And I think last season they missed out by 1 point. They played better football than Tottenham for most of last season as well. It's just that the last five games and that they were terrible. But they've got each other soon, isn't it? That game's massive now.
It's their next Premier League game.
I can't wait, bruv. I can't wait, bruv. Like I like
when we all come back. When we come back on the 1st October, the 12:30 game is Arsenal Tottenham, which I'm doing a watch along for on the 1st October. And then Man United have got Man City on the Sunday. So Man United, we've got the Man United derby, North London derby, and Liverpool Brighton.
So the hope is that all these teams draw and Liverpool just start creeping with no one watching. Yeah. Just start creeping up the table, bro.
Take points off each other. We start winning. I mean, Tottenham are that's going to be big. That's the biggest North London game in a long time. The way both teams have started. Right, with Tottenham, they played 7-1-5, drawn 2, lost none, scored 18, conceded 7. Tottenham are a weird side. The reason I say they're a weird side
because they're boring.
They play dead football. Their football is. They played part of the bus football against Leicester, but still won 6-2. They didn't go all out attack against Leicester. They pretty much sat back.
They brought flipping pissed off Son on the pitch. That's why, bro. He was pissed. We didn't even scored all these bangers and wouldn't celebrate, bro. He's so mad.
They've arguably got the best forward line in the Premier League, Tottenham?
Uh,
By the way, Kulusevski's gone quiet, like I said he would.
yeah.
Because people were starting to work him out. I said with Kulusevski, you give him time and space, he's going to give trouble. As soon as you start giving him no spot, I think I said at the beginning of the season, I want to see what Kulusevski does when people start to work him out.
You did say that. You said
And
when they figure out the spaces in.
Yeah, and see how good he is then. And he's not been great, but
they covered him up and then bent a call when they scored. But I'll tell you what, man. Listen, I said this already, bro, about them being boring, but they'll still do well. And it's not. Yeah. It's because this is what Conte does, bro. I watched Chelsea win the league with boring 1-0s, man. They had Costa up front, and they just was shithousing it. And at the moment, they ain't lost the game. But that's not a problem to me. They will lose eventually. But they've got good vibes in it. So I don't know, man. I don't think their team's good enough to sustain anything too long. But to be fair, 4th position, or if they do finish 4th, yeah, I think they might finish 4th. I think it's not bad anyway. I mean, let's be honest, bro. I know everyone wants to like to make it seem like this big thing, but if you finish 3rd, or you finish 4th, or you finish 2nd,
it's basically the same, ain't it? You get the same outcome at the end of the season, don't you? I mean,
because back in the day, you obviously used to have Champions League qualifiers on it. If you finish 4th, they're gone now. So now it doesn't make a difference. So
no.
You know what I mean? Maybe if it's, yeah, I was about to say that maybe if it's a massive point tally, like I think before when Man City finished 2nd behind us, but the gap was still big to 3rd.
Yeah.
No one gets played. You don't get any recognition for finishing in the top 4.
I mean, like last season, like you say, the City Liverpool top 2, but they finished 18 and 19 points in front of Chelsea in 3rd. That's a season where them two were just head and shoulders above everyone else in England.
Yep. By the way, this time last season, Chelsea were top of the table on 16 points.
Yep.
And then we see what happened to them, bro. And Chelsea's better than Arsenal. So
yeah, this is it's top 4. It's gotta be tight, man. That's why I still think
exciting for us football fans, don't it? I like it, man.
Yeah. I think Arsenal finished 3rd. I'm going Tottenham 4th. The thing with Tottenham, though, there's an interesting story about Tottenham right now, and that is because in Italy right now they're reporting that a certain Juventus manager is very close to getting the sack.
Allegri.
And Allegri is very close to getting the sack because Juventus are totally off it.
Yeah, they're pissed with him, bro.
And Juventus higher ups want Conte. Back. Now, he's doing good stuff at Tottenham at the moment. We know what Conte's like. And if he's hearing that Juventus want him back, the pool of Juventus back in Italy, depending on what money there's available to spend, that's very important to Conte. He needs to know what his transfer budget is. That might be too hard. It might be too much to ignore. So that is a thing to watch in the rest of the season. If Juventus do sack Allegri, the higher ups apparently want Conte. So it'd be interesting.
He'll stay for the whole season, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. If they get a caretaker manager in and then don't have one at the end of the season, I could see him leaving. I think he just wants a trophy for Tottenham. I think a trophy.
If he goes back, I can see it now. Allegri gets sacked. Conte goes back to Juventus, and Tottenham get Thomas Tuchel.
I thought he was going to say Pochettino then.
Get Thomas Tuchel.
Oh my God! Imagine that, man. Flipping hell.
Can see it. Because I think Tottenham want to stay in around that title hunt now. And thing with Tottenham, you can get at Tottenham, you can outplay Tottenham, but Tottenham can just with their forward line, they can just switch it on and score 2 goals out of nowhere. But I think they're going to get top 4. Man United,
6th.
You're still going 6th. They've started reasonably well. They've had 4 games on the bounce winning, but I still see a lot. I still see holes in their game.
All I'll say is they lost Brighton and Brentford. They played us, they won. They played good in that game. They played Southampton. They wasn't very good, but they just got over the line. They played Leicester. Good first half. Second half, they were terrible.
There's still holes there, isn't there?
Yeah, I feel like they beat Arsenal in it, but I feel like when the teams are on it against them, they just don't win the game.
No. They shouldn't have beaten Arsenal either, by the way. I know they beat Arsenal, but Arsenal
the result was kind to them, to be fair. Arsenal were good in that game.
I'm going Man United 6th, Chelsea 5th.
Yeah, that's exactly what I feel. That's what I've got.
So that's our top 6. So City winning the league. Liverpool still finished second. People might think we're mad because we're 9 points behind, but we were 14 points behind City last season. And
yeah, it's facts, bro.
But I keep saying it, and I'll say it again. It's the Ajax game that has sort of turned me a little bit thinking, you know what? Once we get all these players back, I think Klopp will just go back to what he knows. No more experimenting. Yeah. I think he will just go back to what he knows. He's got no experimenting no more. I don't think he's going to play Salah so wide, Diaz so wide, leaving Darwin Núñez on his own in the central. You know, I don't think we're going to do that. I think Klopp's going to go back to what he knows. I think you're going to see Jota up top. I think you're going to see Salah close to Jota like he was against Ajax. Diaz doing his thing on the wing. And then you're going to see that midfield of... I think, I did my video yesterday on it. What's Liverpool's best midfield three? I honestly think he's going to go back to Hendo, Thiago and Fabinho.
I said it was the best three anyway, man.
I think that is Liverpool's best three at this moment in time. And it's weird to say because people are like, what you want about Jay? We hate Hendo. I love Harvey Elliott.
I love Hendo.
I love Harvey Elliott as well. I really think Harvey Elliott's a top player. But Harvey Elliott and Trent together on that right side of the pitch are too immature to play together defensively. And if you look at the way we've been playing lately, you know, Trent's new role is that he comes inside and becomes a midfielder because he's got that talent. He's got special, you know, he's good on the ball. That's why they get tried. I think Klopp wants to sort of play him in midfield, but have him as a right back. I think that's what they're trying to do. He doesn't want him as a midfield starter and have a right back. He wants Trent at right back. That's why Trent don't get dropped. That's why he don't get angry at Trent defensively.
I said the whole time, man. It's not even Harvey's fault because he can defend, but he's not used to it, so he's got to get used to it first.
It's not in his
and
game,
on top of that,
he's
on top of that, yeah, the thing what Hendo does, no other team has to do that for their right back. No. You know what I mean? But
Hendo will stay there.
I think it's based around that, and that's why. Yeah, you can say that we all started shit this season. That's fine, but anytime Trent's been able to do well at any point is when Hendo's been there. I've been saying this, and I didn't like it before, innit? And I still don't like it. But if it's part of the system, I gotta respect it. It just means that you can only play that system when Hendo's there. The only thing I would say for the coaching staff, and they probably do it because the reason why I see Klopp shouting at him, I think that Klopp has told him when Hendo's been injured, you need to be more defensive. But I think Trent's is so tracked in his mind that this is what I do, that he's not listening. I don't even think he's doing it on purpose. Because when you see Klopp screaming at him, I'm like, if this was the system in this particular game, no way would Klopp be screaming at him like that. It's because Trent he only plays like Hendo's still there, but Hendo's not there. And I think Hendo's back, and I think laughing.
I agree because Trent. What's happening at the moment is that Harvey's a 19-year-old boy, and he's not really a defensive-minded footballer. He wants to be offensive. You know, he's a natural winger as a youngster, and you know we've adapted him into a midfield role. But when Trent goes, the problem is when Trent goes, Elliott goes as well. And when you do that on that right-hand side of the pitch, you've got a massive gap and a massive problem. 100%. And both of them are not mature enough to do the defensive side of the game properly. So when you got that as your right-hand side of midfield, that is why when you look at everyone Klopp's trying to buy as a midfielder, they're all right-sided midfielders.
Yeah, because the thing is, out of the two of them, Harvey's the one who's doing the right thing.
Yeah,
because that's what you would do if you're playing right side midfield. But
if we had a natural right back who was a right back, old school right back.
I promise, if Ramsey was fit now and was playing instead of Trent, you wouldn't notice that from Harvey. Because he's just playing how naturally this is what you would do. I'm on the right side of midfield. When we start attacking, I'm going to attack. I'm going to drag the ball forward. You're not expecting. The only time you expect to see your right back is if they're doing an overlap, like Gary Neville and Beckham. But Trent doesn't do the overlap, so now they're in the both same position. Yeah. So I think it's just changing up stuff when different players are there. But when Thiago's there as well, and then Hendo's there, I'm laughing. I love it. I don't mind.
Yeah, it'll only work if all three of them are fit.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, it'll only work if all three of them are fit. I know Thiago, Hendo ain't got the legs to do what he used to do, and that's fine. But I think Hendo hopefully will be sensible enough. If Trent goes, I think Hendo will now just sit.
Hendo doesn't really go anyway when Trent
Yeah,
goes.
I think he'll more than likely just sit. What it does for Jurgen Klopp, what Klopp will look at it is like, if I've got Hendo, Fabinho and Thiago, I've got 3 defenders in midfield. So if I've got 3 defenders in midfield, I can play the high line and I can squeeze up more. When you've got 2 defenders in your midfield and a midfielder is attacking and a right back is attacking, when you push up and squeeze, you're leaving a massive gap. So Hendo would be more defensively locked on than Elliott is, just because Hendo has been playing the game as long as Elliott's been alive, and he's used to what Klopp wants him to do. So he's more mature in that way of defending. That's why when we had no defenders that season, Hendo played centre back.
Bro, that's why I can't be one of them guys to disrespect him. I respect him too much because I realize what he does for the team. Everyone just thinks that it's because the only thing people have got to say is the cross into the box. Okay, I don't like that cross to the back post either. But you're watching everything else is doing on the pitch because no one else ain't doing that. Because on the left side, it's not needed. Robbo's always up and down. Tsimikas is always up and down. Thiago will cover any spot there. But on the right side, it's completely different. So I'm fine with it. And listen, if Hendo does that and is a little bit even more reserved than he has been and stays in that spot instead of having to run back into it for protection, and we get through the season with him, then hopefully by the time the season's done, we've got another person there to replace him as the starter who's world-class or good enough. And then he can just be on the bench and it'll be perfect, man. I can't wait. Same with Nunes up front. I said, and it's not Nunes' fault or Klopp's fault or anyone's fault, because obviously Jota was injured. But I said, like, if he wasn't injured, you start the season with Jota, you start bringing off Nunes off the bench for 30 minutes every game. If we're winning the game or whatever, you need something because he can impact the game. And eventually he builds up the confidence to where Klopp has no choice but to play him.
Yeah.
That's how it works. But at the moment, it's a little bit different. So
I'm looking forward to it. I think with all our players back, Klopp will go back to what he knows. No more experimenting. And I think what you'll see is, I know this will hate, a lot of fans will hate this because they want Klopp to rotate more. But I think what you'll see is that once he's got a settled squad again, I think you'll see a lot of the same 11 week in, week out, with maybe 1 or 2 coming in and out.
You should.
I think that's what Klopp will go with, and we'll keep it going for as long as he can and get us back up the league.
You don't really need to rotate
when
you got 5 subs.
Yeah, and we're too good. You look at it, when that squad's all back fit, with the players we got, they're too good not to go back up the league. So that's why I'm not worried so far. So that's your Premier League predictions, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. There's a couple of things before we go I want to say. So
I want to ask you one more thing as well, Jay.
All right. So tomorrow.
Oh no, it's all right. It's all right. You don't have to ask. It's fine. It's fine. I was looking at where Fulham's spot was, but it's fine. It's done.
Oh, you've done it, yeah. Tomorrow we're doing the Fantasy Premier League draft. So, are you in this, Savage? You up for this tomorrow?
Fantasy. What time's it on?
7 p.m. tomorrow night.
What day is it? Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, because Cav's there, and I think John's in it with as well. I think Edward's in it as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to do an all-time Premier League 11. So everyone's going to have the chance to pick their all-time Premier League 11. You can only pick 3 players from the same team. Once a player has been picked, no one else can have that player.
Dope.
So what we're going to do, we're going to spin the wheel at the beginning to see who goes first. And then on order on the screen, we will stay in that order and go round till everyone has completed their teams. So for everyone who wants to do it, John, yourself, Cav, and all that listening, make sure you get your 11 written down that you want played, your formation, your 11. Yeah. And then make sure you got your Google on or to see all the Premier League players, because if one of your players has been picked and you can't have them, you need to replace them. So it should be.
I might just go and make myself 3 teams tonight, man.
It's any player in the Premier League era. So that's from 1992 to where we are now. So they got a lot to choose from.
I'll say this year, once it's done,
yep.
If you find one of them generators where you can put the players in, and then put it on Twitter for a vote, bro.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, I've got.
Or you could do it on YouTube. I might be able
I've got that. My lineup 11 app or something like that, where you can you can put them all in. So that's what I'm going to do. So once everyone's got their teams, we'll get them all down, and then I'll put them on this app, and then I can put them up, and everyone can vote. Yeah, it should be fun. So it should be good. So you can only pick 3 players from the same team. So say you're Sterling. Say you pick Sterling in your team. You've got the choice to pick him that he played like Liverpool Sterling, Chelsea Sterling, or Man City Sterling. You know, if you've already got like 2 Chelsea players. See what I mean? So
I think I personally think you're being too kind with that.
Yeah, I probably am, but it's the first one.
Because Sterling's a whore, bro. He's been at some bro. He's a whore, bro.
So if you've got 2 Chelsea players, but you want Sterling in there, you can go. Hang on, he played for Liverpool as well. So
because what if you get do you get 2 Ronaldos, bro? Because he's been at Man U twice, bro.
Well, no, that's the same club still, ain't it? It's the same club.
No, one club was good and one was shit.
It's still Manchester United. Like, it's still Man United over the door. So yeah, it should be a fun video. It's something to entertain everyone while we're on the international break. So I hope you all enjoy that, guys. That's tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So please join us then. Should be a good video. Till then, guys, thank you very much for joining me.
Peace out, people, man. Love.
Peace out. See you tomorrow.